Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of fools. Round 9. The Kangaroos trudge off Skilled Stadium, having been slaughtered by Geelong to the tune of 85 points. 4 straight losses have the experts nodding knowingly as another brilliant start to the season comes undone at the seams. The Roos to somehow pull it together and challenge for the double chance? Impossible. 7 weeks ago, the Saints languish in 9th position after being dispatched by the battling Bombers. Burdened by an enormous weight of expectation, the knives are out as talk turns to St Kilda missing the finals. The double chance? Impossible. A fortnight ago, the Roos trail reigning champions Port Adelaide by 40 points at half-time. Victory? Impossible. Last Sunday, the Roos need 4 goals in 3 minutes to steal it. Impossible.
Welcome to round 20, heritage round of the 2005 Toyota Premiership season. There's the Saints in their heritage jumper. They wore that one prior to World War I, and then given the colours involved in the war effort in the First World War, that was too closely aligned to Germany and Belgium, so they changed the jumper shortly and went to their traditional red, white and black as we welcome you to the Telstra Dome. And what a fantastic game this is going to be. 3rd versus 5th, the Saints and the Roos.
Well, double spot up for grabs also in the finals. And the one thing about it, St Kilda, their last 8 weeks, they haven't played anybody of any note, and they've only played Richmond and Geelong, who have been in the 8 at the time, but their form over the last month hasn't been that good, those two sides.
Well, they've won their last 6 by an average of 62 points, so they are up and firing, and this is a massive game in the race for the double chance. There's the Kangaroos, equal on points with St Kilda, but 27% behind to be in 5th position. Remembering the top 4 get the double chance in September. Let's take a look at the league ladder. You'd think, Tony, that the winner of this game looks very good for the double chance. The loser's right in the mix for an elimination final.
And you need that double chance. West Coast Eagles and Adelaide going along beautifully. You might have to travel in a state, so you just don't want that to be a knockout or be out of the top 4 and have a knockout game.
It really is an important situation. History shows that the Premiers more often than not come from the top 4 sides in this top 8 situation. There's the tail of the tape. Let's look at the numbers. They seem to favour St Kilda in defence and attack, but around the stoppages this afternoon, the Kangaroos just with their noses in front, and you feel that's going to be pretty important if they can get first hands on the football, because they have some very talented midfielders of their own.
Well, it is important, but the thing about St Kilda now, inside 50, second in the competition, and they've got some, with Kane Ackland coming back into the side, they've got some tall timber who are going to test North Melbourne.
One late change for the Kangaroos. Lee Colbert out of the side, replaced by John Baird. Important structurally. Here are the Roos, 12 wins, 7 losses, won 6 of their last 8 games, including 2 big comebacks in the last 2 weeks against Port Adelaide and Collingwood. And, well, back in round 3, they came storming home to beat St Kilda. They backed themselves in any situation.
Yeah, they can ill afford to give St Kilda a start now. As you say, St Kilda are playing well, and I talked about the opposition they've played against, but they really cannot give a start to a side who we think is going to be a quality team in finals. So the start is so important for the Kangaroos.
One late change, as we mentioned, Lee Colbert out as we take a look at the 2 sides. St Kilda and the Kangaroos will start up forward for the Roos. Severio Rocker, Shannon Grant averaging 27 possessions in his last 7 games against St Kilda. He was the match winner last time with 3 late goals.
Well, he's a hard matchup because he goes forward. Brett Voss might be able to handle him as a marking forward, but if he goes on ball, there's no doubt they have to change that up.
Across half forward for the Kangaroos, Nathan Thompson important. Brent Harvey, 34 touches last week, his best since round 19 of 2001.
Well, Steve Baker has to shut Brent Harvey down. He won the game by himself last week against Collingwood, so he needs to be negated for the whole game.
Through the middle of the ground, plenty of talent on both sides. Wells, Simpson and Makepeace up against Jones, Powell and Harvey. Adam Simpson averaging 25 touches against St Kilda in his last 6 games.
Well, 2 speedsters on the wing there, Wells and Jones. That'll be great to see if they go head-to-head today.
Across half forward for the Saints, Nick Riewoldt, well, he polled 3 votes the last time he played against the Kangaroos. It was late last season. He looms as important. And Archer and Hamill, wouldn't that be a great battle?
I think the coaches have a responsibility to allow us to see that matchup. I don't care. You just got that. You would pay a lot of money and go a long way to see that matchup.
Up forward, Fraser Gehrig booted 27 goals in his last 4 games against the Roos, including bags of 9 and 10.
Well, with Kaczynski now being able to play forward because Kane Ackland comes into the side, this is where it's going to stretch him. Johnny Bair's got a big job if he does go to Kaczynski or Ackland.
Take a look at the on-ballers. Luke Ball, he's polled Brownlow votes in both games against the Kangaroos last season. And Lenny Hayes, well, he's a class act. He's got a great record against the Kangaroos as well, averaging 26 touches.
Well, look, hopefully they've got matched out. Ferrito and Rawlings can really cut down players, but are they going to be attacking enough? And those clearances, as you say, are so important.
Let's take a look at the benches for both sides. Harris, Hale and a couple of youngsters in Trotter and Perkins for the Kangaroos. While for St Kilda, Blake, their backup ruckman, alongside Thompson, Montagna and Milne. Massive game for both sides. It is the match of the round for round 20. The last time these two sides played, the Kangaroos looked to be in trouble. They trailed by 17 points at the 19-minute mark of the final term before the Roos came storming home to win by 7 points. St Kilda and the Roos coming up next on Saturday afternoon football.
Screws it back. What a great goal! You can never write the Kangaroos off. Saturday afternoon football coming to you live and exclusive right around Australia on Fox Footy. We're at the Telstra Dome in Melbourne for the match of the round between the Kangaroos and St Kilda. And speaking of the Kangaroos, one man who played in a premiership with the Roos before heading north to Sydney is Wayne Schwass. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Jason. Looking forward to this. This is a massive game. Das, I'll ask you, you get a certain feel when you walk or you head towards the finals, and I know we've got 3 weeks to go. It smells different, it feels different.
Good afternoon, Bulldog skipper Luke Darcy.
Thanks, Jason. It does feel different, Swatter. It's got a great atmosphere. Both supporters from both sides are saying, geez, this is a huge chance for our side to get an advantage heading into the finals.
Let's head boundary side. Here's Glenn Manton. We'll come back to
Thanks
Glenn.
very much, Jason. As you can see, some people do take Heritage Round very, very seriously. And one man who will definitely be up to his ears in serious football today is Darren Goldsmith. Darren, I believe this game is going to be red hot, particularly in the air.
Yeah, you would imagine that it's probably a prelude to the finals. So from our point of view, it'll be a good chance for us to get a bit of form going into the finals in a finals atmosphere.
What will you be looking for on field? As I mentioned, I think the aerial pursuits of the ball in terms of the forwards going after the ball and trying to bring them in and keep it in the forward 50 are going to be red hot. How do you see the game panning out on ground?
Yeah, well, obviously both sides have got prime forwards who are quite tall, and maybe both backlines are a little bit shorter than that. So, you know, we'll be making sure that the players who are making the effort to mark the ball are actually protected, as we normally do.
Well, you spoke about making an effort, Darren. I've made an effort today. I'm a little bit disappointed in yours. Probably haven't come up to scratch, but I'll allow you to go and pull on the Heritage shorts because I know you're looking forward to pulling those on today.
Look, I've got them in my bag, but I didn't really want to get them out and put them on until I really had to. So, you know, you've got something to look forward to.
And we will. Back to you, Jason.
Thanks, Glenn, and thanks also to Darren Goldsmith. That recorded earlier. And the umpires this afternoon in the Heritage gear as well, wearing the short longs or the long shorts, whichever way you look at it. Got the baggy pants on. St Kilda won the toss. They'll kick to the right of screen, the Coventry end in this opening term. We've mentioned the importance of the start, Tony Shaw, for the Kangaroos. They've led at half-time just 8 times this season in 19 weeks of football.
Very important they get out of the blocks here. And Glenn Manton, was he dressed up like an old-fashioned reporter? Is that what it was supposed to be? Because I've still got one of those jackets.
He's got the retro gear on for Heritage Round. At least I'd like to think he does. I hope he hasn't just turned up in his casual clothes today looking like that. But what a game this promises to be. Both sides locked together on 12 wins and 7 losses. The winner looking pretty good for the double chance. The loser could be on their way to an elimination final in the first week of September. There's Aaron Hamill. A vital cog in this St Kilda machine. Looks like Ferrito to get the start on Aaron Hamill. Interesting to see if Glenn Archer goes to at any point in time. Saturday afternoon football from the Telstra Dome. Thanks for joining us right around Australia. Round 20, it's the Kangas and the Saints. Opening bounce, Petrie against Ackland. Harvey in there, Ackland with hands on the football. Wells emerges, can't break the congestion in the Guerra tackle. We'll have a secondary bounce.
Interesting, Jason, ready to see Stephen Baker's going with Shannon Grant, who the match winner the last 2 weeks, so Baker will be as close tag today.
Baker had the job on him when they played in round 3. Grant snuck away in the final term to boot 3 goals and win the game for North. Umpires picked out a free kick. Darren Goldspink. It's going St Kilda's way for in the back. So the first effective disposal will go to the Saints, and Luke Ball sweeps a handball wide. Jones steps inside the Harvey tackle. Kicks long inside 50. It's a floating kick to the pocket. Baird versus Kazitsky. Gehrig comes in, lays a hit on Baird. It's fierce early as you'd expect. Brown wrapped up by Kazitsky, and the ball finds its way to the line. John Baird getting a late call up. His first game since
2 weeks ago, just his 3rd for the season. Archer into it early against Powell. John Baird getting an unexpected chance. Petrie got the tap down. It's pinched. Hamill. Powell. Goal! Saints on the board in the opening minute. Worked it beautifully off the stoppage. And Stephen Powell kicks his 4th goal for the season.
Well, not a renowned goal kicker, but that setup, it was tapped by Petrie back, and it was Baird there. You can just see Ferrito not on the goal side of Hamill, who fed the handball out to Powell, and on his non-preferred, he normally doesn't kick that well on his left, but he snapped it beautifully on his right. So a good start. And there's Glenn Archer just showing that he's involved in this game.
Saints with the first score. Stephen Powell. Terrific opening. Such an important game for both sides. Bounce favours Petrie. Got it going forward. Still inside the centre square. On his hands and knees was the goal scorer in Powell. Pack forms. You'll see a fair bit of that. Good umpiring allows it to go. Kangaroos player pushed in the back was Makepeace. And we'll have a bounce inside the centre square as we go down to Glen Mountain.
Thanks very much, Swatter. Just look for Glenn Archer just zoning off in the back half, looking to provide a presence not only at the ball but in the air.
Rocker comes up from the forward line. Got it down to Luke Ball. High ball off the side of his boot. Comes towards the interchange bench. Harvey leads in the race. Archer wants to apply the shepherd to Peckett. Couldn't get there. Ferrito did well. Got it back to Harvey, but Peckett. Strong tackle. Del Santo pumps a high ball up towards Garrick and Brown. Fraser! Strong mark. Quick movement into the inside 50, Luke. It'll put the defenders under pressure every single time.
You think Fraser Garrick's probably almost the best player in the league at protecting the space where the ball's going to drop. He holds one out. Lee Brown's a very strong opponent, but he knew where the ball was going to fall. He reads it so well in flight. As you look at the replay here, he just held Lee Brown off, and he was never going to get beaten, Tony. Almost could have got a free kick as well.
Yeah, it should have been a free kick for holding his arm as he went for the marking contest, as we have a bit of break as he does his boot up. But gee, too strong. They already looked like Koziski was too strong with John Baird when he dropped that mark earlier in the quarter. They have got some problems already, the Kangaroos.
He loves playing the Kangaroos, Fraser Garrick. He averages 13 possessions, 9 marks and 6 goals in his last 4 games. Corresponding game last year, 10 goals too. Career high. This for his first. Starts it out left and hangs out there. Well, it's a let off for the Kangaroos. Fraser Garrick with his first score for the afternoon. Saints doing all the attacking early. Kangaroos with 1 effective disposal in the opening 4 minutes, and that was to Brent Harvey. A quick handball. Makepeace with the kicking in duties. Up the middle to Archer. What a super year Glenn Archer's having. Injury-free. It's made a heck of a difference and reminded everybody just how good he really is. Grant to Wells. Daniel Wells averaging 18 touches a game this season. Kick was at the feet of Harding, made life difficult. Harvey tries to keep it alive, gains an extra 5 metres, and we'll have a throw in smack bang on centre wing.
Now that Stephen Baker's gone to Shannon Grant, Justin Peckett has gone with Brent Harvey. I'd be taking Harvey into the midfield straight away. You wouldn't think Peckett could run with him all game. He started across half forward, but throw him onto the ball and make him run around, make Justin Peckett run a fair bit in this game.
Plenty of players around this stoppage. Ackland and Petrie, both with the same idea. Grant tried to tap it to advantage. Petrie, fresh air shot. Powell, handball smothered. Ball wrapped up, going nowhere. Have another bounce.
Interesting to see David Hale started the game on the bench. He's been in pretty good form, Hale, and I've given Petrie first crack at the ruck. Got his hands to it a few times already, Drew Petrie, so he's got a big job today if the Kangaroos are going to win.
Petrie again against Ackland. Awkward bounce, neither ruckman really at that contest. Hayes takes it to the line. We'll have another throw in. Sure, you talk about Justin Peckett on Brent Harvey. You'd probably expect Andrew Thompson, because they do tend to rotate those players on and off the ground, pick up Brent Harvey at some stage.
Well, then I'd take him forward.
Gee, there's
take Andrew Thompson back there.
Some good matchups. Simpson and Hayes there. There's Baker, taken down by Petrie. It was pretty cleverly played by Baker. He won himself a free kick. He actually hung onto the arm of Petrie after the tackle was laid and milked a free. So Baker just backward of centre wing. Thinks about the short option to Harvey. The St Kilda champ down the line towards Revolt. He's got the mark. Last time he played against
The Kangaroos picked up 3 votes, 18 marks that day, booted 3 goals. Looms as a large figure in this game again, as is this man, Gehrig. Umpire calls play on. Gehrig frustrated. Look at the look on his face here.
Well, so he should be. The only thing that he didn't have on him then was the saddle. I'm serious. You've got to allow the full forward.
Oh, he nearly touched. Almost gone back for another go.
And he nearly touched the umpire.
Sanity just prevailing at the last instant there for Fraser Gehrig. Beautiful kick from Ferrito. Wells is away around the city wing. Chance for the Roos, their first meaningful foray forward. One-on-one, Jones worked under the football against Del Santo. Fisher in support. Jones gets boot to ball, bends it back and hits the behind post. We'll have a throw in. You could just see the look on Fraser Gehrig's face. As soon as he got up, he walked away. He was furious. He came back for another go. And fortunately, Luke, he didn't.
Yeah, you don't want to get in a situation where you touch the umpire, Jason, in this day and age. And we know Fraser's temper can come to the fore, as you see in this replay. He nearly lost it, Fraser.
Could have been a very nasty moment. Throw in, ball's back in play in the forward pocket. Harvey wins it for St Kilda. Jones, now ball, and the Saints away from half-back.
Luke Ball can have a bounce, goes inside the centre square, gets some support from Voss. Tumbles the kick up towards Maguire. He's got a taste for the goals from a long range, goes towards the pocket, wonderful kick, lovely build-up. This time Fraser takes an easy chest mark. Tight angle, plays on quickly, opens it up. Fraser for his first, he's got it. The Saints have 2.
He's fired up, Fraser Gehrig, today, isn't he? He plays his best footy with emotion and passion, and he's got a bit of blood nose coming down, streaming down the face, and having a go at someone here.
He's just saying to the umpire, well, how'd you think that happened?
He's not happy, the big fella, but this is how he plays his best footy. He's likely to kick a bag full today.
I agree. I really agree, Darcy. And once he gets his emotions up, he can either be over the top with a lack of discipline or controlled and wants to compete.
How do you coach that, Shorey? Because you want him as close as you can to that fine line. How do you coach him?
Well, it's hard to, because when they go over the top, you've got to take them off. Now, he's come up with the blood rule. I'd be getting him on the phone and say, great start, I want to see this in the game. Stand up and show your teammates you've come out here to play today. And whether it took a smack in the mouth to do it, all the best here.
He's going to go and tap the umpire on the shoulder and show him his hand, which had blood on it, to say, hey, what about a free kick? How do you think this happened? Best possible scenario for St Kilda. He's kicked a goal, so it's focused his mind back on the game, and he's also come to the bench now just to settle down. But Fraser Gehrig right in this game. The Saints lead it by 13 points. Kangaroos on the ropes early. Here's Fisher at half-back. Slips past Rawlings. Assesses the options and will go short. Umpire says not the required distance. Powell dished it off quickly. Sinclair taken out of it. Roos with a chance. Simpson hoisted high inside 50 to the top of the square. Chance for Big Sav. Can he gather? Tries to shrug one and does. Taken down with numbers. Here's Corey Jones. Wants to get onto his right boot. Swings it back towards the goal square. Awkward bounce. It's bouncing. It's bouncing right to the line, and it's touched by Penny. Right on the line, Luke Penny. Corey Jones didn't look to get much purchase on that football, but the awkward bounce almost got there.
All the momentum at the moment with St Kilda, and it just unlucky for the Kangaroos. They couldn't get a goal back. St Kilda start the game so well. The Kangaroos really need a goal to get themselves into the game.
Isn't there an atmosphere around the Telstra Dome at the moment? Big crowd in. And this has got a real finals feel to it. Both sides going at it. Fraser Gehrig stalking the boundary line as Jones goes short, but he's turned it over. Harvey's got it. 45 metres out. And we know the sublime skills of Brent Harvey. Could go back and kick this from here, and that would be a huge fillip for the Roos to get on the board and just deflate St Kilda's tyres a little bit. The magical Brent Harvey gives it a ride and kicks a goal. Kangaroos respond. It's 2-1 at the Dome.
Great set shot for goal from Brent Harvey there. You see, he almost played on because he's a better shot on the run, Brent Harvey. He thought, I'll use the skills that I've got, and that's actually kicking the ball on the run. So great for the Kangaroos to get a goal, probably against the flow of play, put themselves right back into this contest in the first quarter.
Here's that mistake. Looking for Robert Harvey, but got the wrong Harvey, and that was Brent. Great goal. Good reply for the Kangaroos. Dean Laidley described it last week as arguably his best game for the club last week, Brent Harvey.
Well, he kept the Kangaroos in the game against Collingwood for the 4 quarters. That's how well he played. The other thing too, Wayne, I don't like players just playing on Brent Harvey and using different players through him. I think you've got to negate him and stay on him because his stamina can see out a whole game anyway.
Petrie had a fresh air swing, followed up with a good tackle, and has given away a free kick. 2-1 to 1-1. Lenny Hayes inside the centre square, just forward of the centre. Saints going to the Coventry end. It's bathed in sunshine, so Hayes goes lateral, has ball, who's got Peckett. It's got some space, Frankie. Milne goes to the pocket. Rewalt wants it at the top of the square. Getting in front. Rewalt got his arms on it. There's a loose man. Milne just on the ground. Easy as you like. The Saints reply. Mill has one.
Just too much space allowed there for Justin Peckett. I think Dean Lately will be disappointed with that. He's such a skillful player. Give him that amount of space. He's going to set the ball up to the top of the square. And as we know, St Kilda's forward line is just so dangerous. Stephen Milne started on the bench, come on and kicked the first goal. Andrew Thompson's changed for Justin Peckett as expected. He's going to go on to Brent Harvey, and they'll swap and do that all day, you think?
Well, the other thing about Milne coming on, it took the smack in the nose to Fraser Gehrig going off with the blood rule. So you've gone tall with small, whether they readjusted quick enough, but a fantastic snap by Stephen Milne.
Stephen Milne with hauls of 4, 4, 3 and 3 in his last 4 games against the Kangas. And he's on the board at the 12-minute mark of the opening term here. Ackland against Petrie. Through the hands of Guerra. Wells to Grant. Free kick over the shoulder. It's coming back to Daniel Wells. The young star from Arden Street. Low trajectory kick. Floats inside 50. Rawlings on the half volley. Little gift to Harvey was a touch slick. Here's Robert Harvey. Del Santo. Now Fisher. Goes looking for Ackland. Kick misses the body, but he's got some time. Guerra comes across and lays a big hit on Rocker. And Milne takes the mark on centre wing. Plenty of physical presence from both sides. Milne chips it over the top, going back with courage. Maguire. He's got tons of that. Goes for a run to 55. Goes to the square. Hamill wrestling. Play on the call, and the mark's paid to Ferrito. This game being played at a frenetic pace. Ferrito goes to Wells at half-back. He can go over the top to Baird, who's pushed forward. Now the overlap run comes from Sinclair. He'll kick long to centre-half forward. No one there at all for the Kangaroos, and it's picked off by Nick Del Santo. He spots a target. It's Harvey. Getting across to force a contest with Sinclair. It's spilt to Baker. Handball to Voss. Now Hayes. Run down by Harding. Had to release it quickly under pressure. Jones has got it. Wants to take Thompson on by foot, and does. Thompson goes to the middle of the ground. Has got Guerra in space. He can look up inside 50. Towards the top of the square. Here's the G-train. Couldn't quite take the mark. Milne at ground level, lurking with intent. Lee Brown outnumbered, got to keep paddling. Receives a shepherd from Powell. Baird gets it towards the line, and that's a good win for the Kangaroos.
Well played, Lee Brown there. He was really against the odds. Fraser Gehrig had to sit over the top. I thought here's another one for Fraser, and Brown just kept at it, kept his head over the ball, and great win against the odds there for the Kangaroos.
13 3/4 minutes gone. 3-1 St Kilda. The Kangaroos 1-1. Archer creates a path. Sinclair, good tackle. Hayes, Hamill and Luke Ball wrap him up, and we'll have a bounce. 60 from goal.
Gee, it's something that's coming into the game when they wrap up a player and they take a couple of steps and then they just dump the player up. I think umpires have got to look at that, because the player can get hurt because he's so wrapped up in the tackle by 2 other opponents.
A couple of players go to ground. Whistle on play. Kangaroos free kick, and that'll go to young Trotter.
Ferrito and Hamill have just had a go at it off the ball, and now it's coming back because the umpires picked it up.
Been reversed.
Hamill the instigator there, and as always, the bloke who retaliates gets the free kick against him.
I'll tell you what, you should know, Aaron Hamill, the finals have come up, because if that little round arm connected, great contest this at the moment. It's fantastic matchups.
Kangaroos with a lot of numbers back inside. A defensive 50. Pratt, Wells, Baird. They go to the pocket. Somehow Nick Rewalt, well, he had 4 Kangaroos players to beat there, Luke, and somehow he find himself into some space.
He just worked so hard, Nick Rewalt, even inside 50. He's probably the one player you don't want to allow space, but it's just through work rate. It's not as though he pops up just on his own. He's worked his absolute backside off as he passes the ball short to Guerra.
Can play on now, Guerra, from just inside the 50. Loads up. It's a lovely-looking kick. Well, it's only a matter of millimetres. Hits the post. 3-2 St Kilda. The Kangaroos 1-1-7.
Gee, it's good footy at the moment, isn't it? We've played 15 minutes. It's got a bit of everything, this game. Plenty of passion and ferocity from both sides. Wells plays on, gains some territory. Released the football, but gave it up. Straight to Harvey. Finding plenty of space in the opening term, Harvey. He's been the loose man on a number of occasions. He'll go short. Thompson with courage.
Well done.
Wall the hit from behind.
Oh,
And will be
50
50s.
metres.
So Andrew Thompson from 50 was probably a 50-50 proposition. Now it's a certainty. He'll be taken right to the goal line. And suddenly the Saints will have themselves a very handy 19-point lead.
You just didn't. Just what the Kangaroos didn't want was to allow St Kilda a 3 or 4 goal head start. Andrew Thompson's one of those experienced players who just comes on and adds something every week for the St Kilda side.
So Thompson boots the 4th goal of his season. And the margin 19 points. We've played 16.5 minutes in the opening term. The Saints 4-2, the Kangas 1-1. Let's take another look. Daniel Pratt, the offender.
Well, he didn't have his eyes on the ball, Daniel Pratt. It was late, not overly late, but I thought, gee, if he's got his eyes on the ball, maybe the umpire erred. I believe you have to watch the ball. Courageous play by Andrew Thompson, and that deserved, as the umpire you can see there saying you hit him after it, that deserved 50 metres. Keep your eye on the ball, then it's okay.
Well, as long as they're consistent, there won't be too many arguments. Andrew Thompson gets the Saints 4th. 19 points the margin. 17 minutes gone, first term. They'll go forward again. Luke ball. It's a high one, inside 50. Running back for Rito. Good mark. Seen a couple of early displays of some great courage. Players from both sides. Gets around Hamill. Heads up the middle for Rito. Tumbling kick towards Harris, just on the ground. Kajitsky. Good skills from the big man. Thompson, well, he might have spent it. He's opposing number 4, Harris. Well, fired out a handball. Memphis Simpson. Well, they've got the numbers, the Kangaroos. The skipper finally gets it. Smothered by Luke Paul. Out of bounds as we go down to Glen Matten.
Thanks very much. Aaron Hamill, I should say, rather, and Michael Ferrito spent a lot of time speaking with Darren Goldspink as the ball was being brought back from that last goal. Expect both players to be making every play for the ball and Darren Goldspink to be put in the hot seat.
Darren Goldspink umpiring today's match with Max Devick and Simon Meredith. Pratt dispossessed. Rewalt. Rawlings coming through. Put his body on the line. Jones. Nice handball back to Perkins. Sets it up for Ferrito. Goes over the top. That's a risky proposition. Harvey sandwiched between 3 Roos players. Hayes with strength. Just got rid of Perkins. And he's been deemed to throw the ball.
A couple of bad skill outers swatted to start the game for the Kangaroos, and it's costing them at the moment.
Perkins to Harris. Heads down the line. Brent Harvey. The only goal kicker for the Kangaroos so far. Rocker and Petrie head to the same spot. Harvey goes towards Thompson. 2 bites of the cherry. Couldn't take the mark. It's got Shannon Grant. Does he keep it in? Yes. Goes to Sav. Loops a handball. Well, it's messy play.
Well, the other issue, it's being played on St Kilda's terms. The one player you don't want free in defence is Aussie Jones, because he uses the ball so well. The Kangaroos have got John Baird down the other end free. I'd take that any time if I was Grant Thomas.
Kangaroos' skills and decision-making under pressure at the moment. That was great from Harris. Now to Pratt from 50. Great run down, smothered by Maguire. Turnover play for the Saints as Guerra gives it to Del Santo. Maguire keeps running. He's on the end of it. Pratt tries to run him down. He got an awkward bounce, and now it's a chance for the Roos. Watt has got Corey Jones, has to stand tall. Aussie Jones came over the top. Corey Jones sweeps a handball back. Here's Baird, uncertain of his options. Run down by Guerra, gives it off to Sinclair. Now Watt, back to Jess Sinclair. Frenetic football from both sides. And the ball ends up with Ferrito in the centre of the ground. Ferrito's got a man on the commentary side. It's Daniel Wells. And he can hold it up. Rocker leads short. Doubles back now. Great screen for Brady Rawlings from Sav Rocker. That's how Rawlings got by himself. And now Rawlings obliges by going over the top to Sav. Great forward play from Severio Rocker. He led out, doubled back, created a screen for Brady Rawlings and eventually ended up with the footy himself.
You don't kick over 700 goals in AFL footy without learning a few tricks, and Sav Rocky just went back on Luke Penny. He's a good defender, Luke Penny, but he just got a bit of body contact, and he's always going to get a metre or two, so he's put himself on a tough angle. But what a great kick Sav Rocker is, and he'd back himself in from here.
That umpire saw that contact from that screen off the ball by 50 metres. He saw there was contact there, and you called it, Jason. That can't be allowed. It makes it so hard for a defender, a screen like that with contact.
Vital kick in a time on for the Roos. Here's Sav. Looks good off the boot. It's just fading right, but it's home.
Great kick.
Severio Rocker boots goal number 718 of his career. Ranks 17th on the all-time list. And he closes to within 3 goals of Carlton great Harry Soapy Valance. And that was a vital kick for the Roos. They're back in the contest.
You just saw he can't underestimate how good Savrock has been over his whole career, hasn't he? I think he's probably perhaps not given the accolades that he deserves, but not many players can go back from there. And you actually give him a good chance. He's such a strong kick. He had no doubt he was going to go back and kick that goal, and he's an important cog today if the Kangaroos are going to get up and win.
Doesn't matter what angle was Savrock at, kicks the ball better from about 40 metres out and further out. Anywhere in there, he changed his style, but any angle, he's a beautiful straight kick. So, yeah, look, what is he, 17th on the all-time goal-kicking list?
Closing in on 16th.
Gee, you hang your hat on that at the end of your career.
Hale went backwards. Pratt got a hand on it. Corey Jones goes further afield. Gets it back from Baird. Perkins encourages him to go. And he does. High ball towards Harding and Del Santo. No, it's Fisher. Tell you what, he's turned into a terrific player, this young man. He's been fantastic, plays tall and short. Throughout the course of the year, he's been a real find down at Moorabbin. Heads up the line, he's got a loose player. Voss. Little handball to Hayes, chips the kick towards Peckett. He's working with Thompson. Kajitsky's centre square all on his own. He goes short to Ball. Now he'll get it, the big St Kilda man. Coming through with courage, both players, Thompson and Kajitsky. Good clash to the applause of Tony Shaw. Ozzie Jones gets the loose ball. Goes short to Del Santo. Creative player, Nick Del Santo. Only Shannon Grant and Stephen Baker behind Nick Del Santo, so he decides to go short to Ozzie Jones. Congested forward of the contest here. That's why he hesitates and goes short again to Robert Harvey, the veteran. Towards Rewalt. Got away from Watt. Probably too far, you'd say, for Nick Rewalt.
It was a patient setup, wasn't it, to get it to Rewalt?
But you'd think they'd have to do that. Tumbles the kick up towards Garrick. Got his hands on it. Good pressure. Brown goes again to the safety of the boundary line. The dangerous Milne in heavy traffic. What can he do? Break two tackles. Finish it off with a goal, but don't drop the ball. The Kangaroos, they're away for the moment.
Pratt, Rawlings, they're under enormous pressure. Corey Jones, they've got nothing to kick to down the line, hence the hesitation. So Rawlings switches and finds Hale. Now Brown's worked into some open space on the City side of the ground. Kick goes in that direction. He's got a couple of metres. Tumbles a kick down the boundary line. Perkins comes across for the Roos. They'll have a throw in on centre wing. Again, a good result for the Kangas under pressure.
Kangaroos have got a couple of numbers back behind the ball at the moment, and it's allowing St Kilda free possession. Robert Harvey had the ball. Justin Peckett's had it. They're such good use of the ball. I reckon it's dangerous for the Kangaroos to allow them with the ball.
Here's Hayes. Off a step towards half forward. Milne taken down in the contest. Umpire said free kick. Stephen Milne looking dangerous. He's got a sniff of it early. Troy Makepeace saying he was going for the ball.
You want to watch that? You want to watch that these days?
Umpire was so busy talking to Troy Makepeace, I don't think he noticed the throw coming back.
We just saw before Nathan Thompson and Kajitsky going for the ball with great courage. Gee, that's what makes our game so fantastic.
Milne pumps it high. They'll contest 35 out. Rewalt the target. A couple to beat at ground level. Charging through was Ball. Tries to emerge with a football. Got one in the back. Archer furious.
And he might be 50 if Glenn Archer. He showed dissent then. Want to be careful here. At least he's going to kick from 25 or 30 metres out, not right on the goal line.
Umpire pointing to Daniel Wells and saying to Glenn Archer, the free kick was actually against Wells more so than you for getting into his back.
Have you seen it, Luke? I just think they deserve the free kicks at the moment. They're getting first to the ball, the Saints.
Yeah, I think the St Kilda side has had more momentum. They've been in and attacked the ball. Play like Luke Ball just always puts his head over it. And at the moment, I think the Kangaroos are probably doing well to only be 13 points down.
Free kick 6-4 in favour of the Saints. And Luke Ball, not an enormous goal scorer, kicked 8 goals, 7 for the season. Glenn Archer. Some words of advice and encouragement for Justin Perkins. Ball for a handy one late in the term. Didn't look good off the boot. But that looks good for St Kilda fans. Saints get their 5th. Glenn Archer stews. And the margin back out to 19 points.
Gee, after he kicked that ball, Luke Ball, he limped back to the... Yeah, he's coming off the ground. He might have pulled a muscle. That has to be in the back. You can't just lie on the back of a player when he's playing for the ball. And Glenn Archer, that nearly should have been 50. And I'm glad it wasn't really, because you like to see that emotion from the players. But look at Luke Ball on the boundary line.
He really jabbed at it, didn't he, Tony?
Yeah.
It didn't look good. It didn't come off the boot at all well. It looked to pull up a little sore after that. They got the first two, the Saints. The Kangaroos got one through Brent Harvey, then another two to St Kilda before the Kangaroos replied. And if that's the pattern, then the Saints should get the next goal. Sinclair heads towards the outer side of the ground. The ball makes its way into the shadows with Wells leading in front of Montaigne. The ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in.
I would love to know how many times St Kilda have won games when they have been able to release Aussie Jones as a loose man in defence. I think it had happened a hell of a lot when they've had success over the last 2 years.
He's had 6 possessions in this first term, all kicks. Harvey got a clear of the contest. Pratt goes to Simpson. It's back to Archer. Off a step towards 50. Running with courage. Over the top was Hale. Might have spoiled his own teammate in Thompson. Corey Jones around the corner, but there's that man. Maguire decided to go for the mark. Good contest, Harding. Perkins, he's tackled, but there's a free kick. Matt Maguire's not too sure why.
It's a great contest from Lee Harding there, Swatter. He's just out of position, ran back with the flight. It's allowed young Perkins to have a shot at goal, potentially.
Be a bit hard not to go when it was your time, given the fact you play with Glenn Archer. Pratt. 70 from goal. Hits towards the pocket. Corey Jones, can he get there on the lunge? Fantastic catch at second slip, Corey Jones. And given the current Australian Test team, they could well do with him. But more importantly, getting back to the footy, Corey Jones.
Look at this. Great skill, full stretch. And the good thing about it, he is a left footer, which would be on his side, the preferred side to kick a goal. Bad angle, though.
That was Glenn McGrath in the outfield at the Adelaide Oval a couple of years back.
Deserves a goal, this one, doesn't it?
It does. And they could certainly do with one, the Kangaroos. The margin, 19 points. Eyes darting Corey Jones. Not sure.
This is amazing, the new rule with the umpire.
Play on. Tight angle. And unfortunately, it was too tight, out of bounds on the full. The let off, and Corey's disappointed.
Well, he brought it on himself because he was he wasn't confident enough to have a shot on goal. He didn't settle and say, I'll have a set shot and make up his mind what he was going to do. Then your technique fails. And here's Aussie Jones.
Receives from Del Santo. Goes up the middle looking for Peckett. Clears he and Harvey, one-on-one. Harvey gets boot to ball in a wide open space. The cavalry arrive now for the Roos. Brown hands off to Archer. The 1-2 back to Lee Brown. He's got Hale in space inside 50. Goes instead to Harding. Now to Hale in the pocket. And the big man can go back from 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. He's kicked 12 goals, 2 for the season, so he is a good finisher.
It was Aussie Jones on David Hale, the smallest man on the ground versus the tallest man. And Aussie put his hand up and said, I don't want to be here. Someone come and help me out. But it was interesting that David Hale was able to find that much space.
Crucial kick, this one. It's on in the goal square, a bit of push and shove. Nothing much in it. The Kangaroos just need to hang in. We know if they can do that all day, they're never out of the contest. They just need to keep in touch. And this kick vital with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first. Hale pokes at it across the face of goal.
Gee,
misses a lot.
You mozzed him then, Jason.
12 goals too. Well, he's still got 12 goals too, sure.
Nearly went out of bounds on the full. As a matter of fact, it was touched.
Just tried to steer it through. Throw in, dangerous position, shepherding free kick. It's going to the Roos and Hale will get it. That's a very clever play from David Hale. It was a set play.
What, kick it out of bounds nearly on the full?
Not on the full, though, so he get a kick directly in front.
Yeah.
Good thinking from the big man.
He'll be a bit nervous now after he shanked that last one. And these are the ones, aren't they, Swatter, where you're about 20 metres out and you think, I've got to kick it, and how embarrassing if I don't.
Well, just like Tony said with Sab Rocker, you've got to get inside your head and say, I'm kicking as I'm from outside 50. The routine's got to be exactly the same. That's easier said than done, Luke.
I won't mention he's kicked 16-4 in his entire career then, Shorik.
I was going to say that being such a big man standing next to one, I wasn't going to say anything about the intelligence of that kick.
Gets another go at it. Kicks through that one better. The Roos get the goal. Margin back to 13 points late in the opening term at the Telstra Dome. Saturday afternoon football. Live and exclusive right around Australia on Fox Footy. Here's Tony Shaw and Luke Darcy.
Well, Luke, he did it to open up the angle on the goal. That's what he did from that first kick. But I've been impressed with David Hale this year. One thing about it, he does also recover at ground level. Like, I don't know, what would he be in the old 6'7" maybe? But he gets around, he's got mobility, and as Jason just said, he gets forward and likes to kick a goal.
He's deceptively quick, Shorey, to play on. For a guy who's over 200 centimetres tall, he can run pretty fast, and he's playing on Jason Blake, so plenty of height advantage, and Blake's got to be a bit careful when he pushes forward because he'll kick goals.
Played every game this year, David Hale, along with 7 other teammates. Consistent, the Kangaroos. They go forward again. Sinclair can't get it past Del Santo on the second attempt. As we approach the 31-minute mark of this first term, it's been entertaining to say the least. Great passages of footy, but some terrific examples of courage from both players, from both sides. Voss, short, Montagna. Ozzie Jones is lurking across half-back. He may get it from Robert Harvey if he looks. And he does. And the man with number 5 on his back can stream away. Lowers his vision. He's got a loose man in Blake. And there's the siren for quarter time as the Saints were threatening to go forward again. St Kilda 5-2-32. They go in leading the Kangaroos 3-1-19 at Telstra Dome.
All single goal kickers in what's shaping as a fantastic game of football. St Kilda with more opportunities in the opening term, but the Kangaroos pretty efficient at the other end. And again, the Roos just managed to hang in against the flow of play late in that term. A margin 13 points at the opening change. Saturday afternoon football, live and exclusive around the country on Fox Footy. It's the Saints by 13 points at the first change.
I was 18. I was young and dumb, but I was living life in a hit sum.
It's quarter time at the Telstra Dome. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we are here. Absolutely fantastic game of football. St Kilda 5-2-32. Kangaroos 3-1-19. The margin 13 points at the first change. All single goal kickers. Corey Jones, a leading ball getter on the ground. He's had 9 possessions, while Del Santo and Jones setting up in the back half for St Kilda have had 8 apiece. As we take a look at the numbers, and gentlemen, around the ground, not much in terms of disposals, contested and uncontested possessions, almost level. The important stat there was the inside 50s. The Roos creating far less opportunities, but when they go forward, they've had 6 inside 50s for 3 goals, 1 and out of bounds on the full, so they are delivering when they get it in there.
It just shows they are efficient, the Kangaroos. They can get the ball inside 50. I think it's a catch-22 for the Kangaroos. Because of Colbert going down, they're worried about Gehrig, they're worried about Rewalt. They're dropping numbers back, but that's allowing the likes of Ozzie Jones and Nick Del Santo to get free possession around the centre part of the ground, and they're just such good use of the ball, they're going to score on them.
Let's head down to Glen Mountain boundary side.
Thanks, Jason. Well, with 3 minutes to go in that first quarter, Luke Ball headed up the race for a bit of treatment on what looks to be a left ankle strain or a calf strain. Either way, it will be a significant injury, as it will change the matchups for the St Kilda Football Club going into this second quarter, and matchups are key in this game.
Thanks, Glenn. We'll keep an eye on Luke Ball and keep you up to date with his progress throughout the afternoon. One other game of round 20 action on this afternoon is at Skilled Stadium in Geelong. Between Geelong and Melbourne, 2 sides horribly out of form. The D's trying to right a record down there. They've won there just twice in 32 years. Replays coming up later tonight on Fox Footy, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Cracking contest here, Saturday afternoon football. Tony Shaw.
Well, look, it has been a great first quarter. It looked like the power of the St Kilda side with their tools was going to stand out, but then I thought the Kangaroos equalised around the ball and they had more possession. Like you say, they're inside 50s. They've got to pick that up, though, Jason. I think St Kilda might starve them, and Luke was right. Ozzie Jones and Del Santo, they start Del Santo across halfback now so that he doesn't get tagged. Somewhere along the line, I think St Kilda will throw him in the midfield when maybe the game needs that speed and his ability in the centre bounces.
Del Santo, Jones and Harvey, all with 8 possessions, all had too much space in that opening term.
Yep.
So all single goal kickers in this contest: Thompson, Gehrig, Ball, Powell and Milne for St Kilda, while Rocker, Harvey and Hale for the Kangaroos. As we prepare for second term action, there's Fraser Gehrig. He was involved big time in that opening term. Kicked a goal himself, booted 1-1. He was involved in an incident that could have been controversial, but fortunately he pulled out just at the last moment. Spent some time on the bench under the blood rule and is now back into the fray.
Now Del Santo's gone to halfback. It looks like Brady Rawling, who's trying to match up on him, but what happens if he pushes up the ground? That means Ozzie Jones, he just sits back behind the line, and that's a real problem for him. But they've changed it now, the Kangaroos, so they're making it a contest in their forward line.
Kangaroos rather make a late change out of the centre square.
Oh, the Kangaroos
But
have
they
got
both
three.
went out. Grant and Archer both left the centre square, leaving them with 3. Grant, you can see emerging on your screen now, so a slight miscommunication. They outsmarted themselves, but no damage done. Second term, Telstra Dome. Stephen Baker with the opening kick towards Hamill. Good gather on the bounce, tries to release the ball, slaps it inside 50 momentarily. Here's Makepeace to Grant. Free kick off the ball. Makepeace dealt with late by Stephen Powell, and he'll receive a free kick. So Troy Makepeace, vital player off half-back, his creativity and drive. Here's Archer, can flip it over the top to Sinclair. The 1-2 back to Archer through the middle. Kick towards half-forward, through the hands of Thompson. Spills to the back, here's Jones. Taken down by Harding, release the handball. Luke Ball back on the ground, good news for the Saints. Here's Guerra. Forced to hold it up. Hamill leads now, beautiful lead. The kick just dropped short. Gathers on the bounce, goes himself, screws it back to the square. Gehrig his target. Look away handball to Milne. Put him under some pressure. Was it touched?
It was touched.
It looked touched.
Oh, all the players are going. I thought it was touched too.
I think Darren Goldspink's going to give him the all clear here.
He didn't see it, so it's going to be a goal.
Oh, they're going to go Barresk, the Kangaroos. It looked touched off with the naked eye. It's going to be a goal. Ouch. Whew. So the kick from Stephen Milne didn't really get purchase on it. It looked with the naked eye to deflect in midair. The Kangaroos were all adamant. Darren Goldspink didn't see it, so we can't call what he doesn't see.
That's right.
You can genuinely tell by the players' body language when they're trying to kid one eye, or they're genuinely filthy, the Kangaroos players.
Take another look. Keep an eye on Brent Harvey's right hand.
Oh, yes. The ball flicked up a bit, another foot further. Oh.
This might be a better angle. We'll have another look. Yeah, that's touched his fingers for sure.
He was pleading with Darren Goldspink, wasn't he? So I'm telling the truth, Darren. I definitely touched it.
You're right, Luke. Body language tells as soon as it happened, they went, didn't they? Sometimes they can try and bluff the umpire.
A little bit of luck there favouring St Kilda. Milne with his second goal. Early stages, second term. Margin now 19 points. We'll have another bounce inside the centre circles. I guess from Darren Goldspink's perspective, he was directly behind Stephen Milne, so he saw the ball. We could see it slightly from side on go up in the air. From where Darren Goldspink was standing, he wouldn't have seen that deflection. Rewalt came up into the centre square, got his hands on it. He's tackled, as is Sinclair. We'll do it all over again.
What about the third umpire? I suppose would you throw to the box and?
Oh no, don't want to see that happen. The thing that where everybody's talking about it in the stadium, that's what's so great about it.
Daniel Wells, some time on the boundary line. Used with great effect late last week. Get the Kangaroos home. Archer comes through over the top unceremoniously. He had a long way to go too, Justin Kajitsky. Gives away a free kick. One thing you know about Glenn Archer, you earn your kicks. Baker has got himself into some space. Fraser's gone. That's where the kick heads. Lovely build-up.
Wayne, I think the problem with the Kangaroos midfield is we know that they're not super quick, and as soon as St Kilda win the ball, they spread.
Yeah, well picked up.
And that's really hurting them at the moment, so they've got to be aware of that to get goal side and even help out their teammates. Maybe even zone off from the line behind.
Has one for the afternoon so far. Fraser Gehrig lining up for his second. The Saints second in this second term. He's got it. It's a good finish. Margin, game high, 25 points.
Spoke about Fraser Gehrig today at the start of the game. He was angry. He was in the opposition's face, and he definitely had a case of the angry pills today, and that's good signs for Fraser Gehrig. As Tony said, the ball got switched across, played to Baker, bit of space, and with Fraser Gehrig's speed, it's going to be very hard for Lee Brown to stop him in the lead.
It's a worrying trend for the Kangaroos. They've lost 5 of their last 6 second quarters. It's where the damage has really been done against them and why they've found themselves having to come back from sizable deficits. And again this afternoon, the sign's not good early. St Kilda with a couple of early goals in the first 4 minutes. And the margin out to 25 points. Dangerous period now for the Roos. They must respond. Kazitsky the tap, down to Powell. Slick hands to Hayes. Ends up with ball. Off the left boot, can go towards Hamill. Striving hard to get there. Gets it on the bounce. Thinks about the give over the top to Powell. He's got Guerra inside 50 on his own, taken out and got a free kick.
That is a magnificent kick, because he looked in the corridor, nearly had the ball smothered. He was going to go with it the first time, but he allowed Guerra to get forward another 5 metres. We can see this again, hopefully, with Hamill, but the setup, he's getting off Michael Ferrito at the moment. leading him to the ball.
They've come out a bit flat in this second term, the Kangaroos, and St Kilda are on their game. Had a bit of fortune.
Here
that
he is.
Milne goal.
He just looked up, didn't he, Luke, to give himself enough time, and that allowed Guerra to go another 4 metres closer to goal.
So Brent Guerra has kicked 14 goals, 10 for the season. This for a very handy lead. Got it. Looked to be working to the right-hand side. It just held its line. Brent Guerra kicks his first. And the Saints cracking this game open Saturday afternoon football at the Telstra Dome. The margin now 31 points.
Yeah, ominous signs a bit for the Kangaroos. As Shorey said, Hamill's just been able to get off Rito. It's been a good contest up to this point in time, but when Aaron Hamill gets into the game and gets up and running, really smart bit of play. He held onto the ball here and gave Brent Guerra that extra 3 or 4 metres to have a shot on goal. So they've got free kicks being played in the centre square, and they need to score a goal, the Kangaroos.
Daniel Wells coming on for Daniel Harris. Adam Simpson to take the resulting free kick. 3 goals in under 6 minutes for St Kilda. 31 points the margin in favour of the Saints. The Kangaroos, they head towards the 50-metre arc. Jones, good spoil Voss. Loose ball over the back of Penny. Jones follows up with a good tackle.
Deliberate. The umpire's coming in either. Or not, throw in.
Good to see Nathan Thompson having a run in the ruck. He's actually very, very good in the ruck, and it gives him a chance to go forward and kick a goal as well.
Oh, he got rid of Kajitsky. There's a whistle on play. Darren Goldspink
Can't do that.
holding the man. You go back to round 14 when Nick Rewalt went down for that second time. It was this man on screen with the ball in his hands that stood up, and he's been terrific since then.
The other thing, him being in the ruck, means Kane Ackland has only played for about 10 minutes of the game, so his second half could be important.
Rewalt, too much carry on him. There's a free kick for over the shoulder against Shannon Watt. The Saints skipper will take it out of side of the ground.
They're being reactive at the moment, the Kangaroos. They've got to start getting control of this game and getting some flow in their play, take some risks.
A lot of one-on-one contests forward of where Nick Rewalt will take this kick. Goes long towards Garrick. Makepeace. Makes an easy mark. Pratt wants it inboard. Harvey gets it. Goes a little bit further afield to Ferrito. Over the top to Sinke. Look out, Hamill. Loves that. Guerra. Good tackle on Pratt. He's not going far. Look out, could be. No. We'll have a bounce. Aaron Hamill thought it was holding the ball.
Great pressure there, Wayne, from the St Kilda side, and that's what Aaron Hamill's a specialist at. He never gives up on a chase. Just the perceived pressure, he put the Kangaroos players under then, and they've got a ball up inside 50.
Thompson got it down to Simpson. Quick hands. Lovely. Got it to Grant. High ball towards half forward. Maguire will fly. Takes the mark. Look out, you're gone. But Petrie couldn't get there in time. Created a turnover. Watt has got Jones wide. Doesn't see him. Shannon Watt decides to go long towards Rocker. Wearing him closely was Penny. Cramming it off the pack. Lee Harding. Nice finish. The Kangaroos finally get one in this second term. Lee Harding has his first for the afternoon.
Well done to Drew Petrie, because he chased down Maguire. Maguire thought he had a bit more time. The turnover came about, and I think it was Hale, was it, who kicked the ball forward, but Lee Harding, that's what he's in the side. Sorry, it was Shannon Watt. Kicks the ball long in, and this is Lee Harding come across the front of the pack here. Beautiful front and centre, and you could see his man, I think it was Aussie Jones, went to the back of the pack. Can ill afford a bloke who makes most of his goals out of crumbs to allow him that space.
So again, the Kangaroos' remarkable efficiency continues. One inside 50 this term for a goal. They've only been in 7 times for the match, and they've kicked 4 goals, 1. They still trail by 25 points, however. Kazitsky got the tap. Ball. Was he taken over the shoulder? Umpire said no, he'll call for a secondary bounce.
Need to start winning some clearances, the Kangaroos. I think St Kilda probably in the first quarter are 10-4 in front at one stage. So if they can win the ball from the clearances, they're scoring when they go inside 50. It'll give them a chance.
Archer, the third man up, tried to clear the congestion. Only as far as Montagna. Harvey over the top of it. Jones almost taken out by Hamill. St Kilda hunting in numbers here. Kangaroos standing resolute. Whistle goes, free kick to the Kangas. Ferrito to the dock side of the ground. Harding out on the lead.
Takes the mark. Looks up. Rocker leads to the 50. Hale back inside the 50. Goes inboard to Sinclair. There's some tall timber there. Rocker works back to the goal square. Thompson's about 25 metres out from goal. Harding working hard. Here comes Rocker. Leads to the 50. Couldn't quite hang on. Good play from Penny. Went step for step with him. Simpson off a step to the 50. Good mark taken by Petrie. Drew Petrie will kick from just outside 50. Wants to give it off. The lead of the pocket from Thompson. Couldn't quite hang on. It was good pressure from Kazitsky. Through the legs of Jones. He's confronted by two. Hayes and Maguire. Maguire picks up the football. Squirts out a handball. Coming across was Ball. He gathers just inside the line and St Kilda can use their numbers. Kazitsky. Guerra. Now back to Kazitsky. They worked it well around the city side. Rewald in best position. Gets it to the front of the contest. Chance for Hamill. Run down by Pratt. Good strong front on tackle. Umpire said the arm over the shoulder.
It's free kick to Nick Rewald before that for a push in the marking contest.
So the skipper's got it. 65 from home. Gehrig leads to the pocket. That's ignored. Goes towards Milne and Voss. Coming across was Archer. Did well. Another free kick. In fact, it's going to come back to Rewald. It's going to come all the way back to Nick Rewald. Umpire hadn't called play on.
And there's the free... Well, he didn't have eyes on the ball, Michael Ferrito.
And made contact.
Contact.
There's the tackle from Pratt on Hamill. All for nothing in the end. Aaron gets up thinking, well, that worked out well for me.
That had something to do with the game.
Not from Aaron's perspective, because the kick went back anyway. Luke Ball. Marshalling the troops. Doesn't see anything he particularly likes long, so he goes short to Montagna.
Just wonder whether Aaron Hamill's a bloke who walks around the house and likes to get his fingers jammed indoors and things like that.
The lamps at his place probably copper working. Here's Ball again. St Kilda again showing patience when pushing forward. They're not prepared to release until they see an option they like. Ball now called to play on, so he'll have to kick it long. Hamill at the back of the contest. Pratt got across. Fisted it to line and a throw in. So the Kangaroos maintaining their concentration in the back half. They trail by 25 points.
They're getting a lot of numbers back behind the ball, the Kangaroos, which was great. Then it allowed to give a bit of help out to Fraser Gehrig and his opponent. But at times, I think they need to play them one-on-one, Tony, and back the Kangaroos back and then to just do their job.
A lot of space to the left of Justin Kazitsky here if he can get it moving forward. Petrie with some strength, did well. Milne, the dangerous Stephen Milne, doesn't have a shot, centres the ball towards Fraser. Too much on the kick. Brown wearing him closely. Both players slip over. Undecided, the big St Kilda forward. Goes short, he's got a loose player. Good vision. That's Luke Ball. Can load up if he wants, probably outside his range. The vacant goal square. Kazitsky, he's gone to the fat side. That's where Ball heads. It's fading late. Good courage there, Jones. Stood his ground. Loose ball, though. Baker. Chance for a goal, Stephen Baker. Wobbly kick. Does it come back? No. As Kane Ackland makes his way onto the ground, replacing a spent Brent Guerra.
Well, that means Kazitsky will go forward. Up the other end, the Kangaroos have got Hale, Rocker and Thompson. They need to start taking some marks in their forward line because they're not going in enough now anyway.
Makepeace with a kick in. Goes to Harvey. Harvey goes over the top. Simpson his target. Peckett to close late. Simpson did well. Peckett overcommitted. It opens the door for Adam Simpson. Simpson can go towards half forward, but Hale lost his footing. Ackland back with a flight. Couldn't quite haul it in. Jones to tidy up at the back for the Saints. Short down the line was tidy to Fisher. He goes inboard to Montagna. He now chips back to Aussie Jones. Releases him to go for a run. Searching kick towards Hamill. Ferrito did well. And massive numbers down the line here for Michael Ferrito. So he elects to switch play and try to open up some space to the city side of the ground. He's conceded some ground, but open up the angle. Pratt now goes back to that position and finds Watt. Watt down the line. Hamill will get across here. Archer and Hamill, we've been looking forward to that all day.
Well done, Hamill.
Hamill stood tall and Archer made him earn it. You'd expect nothing less from either of those two men. Hamill's kick was well weighted to Harvey. Robert Harvey, 55 from home, too far to score from him. Rewalt leads short. He's got some space. It was beautiful delivery. And Aaron Hamill came off second best in that collision with Archer, just getting the knee strap. It was a wonderful contest. Here it is. Let's take another look. Hamill just twisting as he landed, just getting the knee strap now by the trainer. But the ball's with Nick Rewalt, 50 metres from home. Kick on its way. He's hung it out to the right-hand side. Through for a minor score. Nick Rewalt's first score for the afternoon. The margin out to 27 points. We've played 15.5 minutes Saturday afternoon football. Live and exclusive from the Telstra Dome on Fox Footy.
Well, he was wayward last week, Nick Rewalt. Archer, Hamill running back with a flight of the ball and wins himself a free kick. No eyes for the contest.
We'll call that 1-1.
Gee, Nick Rewalt's, a lot's been said about his kicking for goal lately. It's been fairly poor.
Yeah, 3-3 last week against Collingwood. And a shot there you'd normally expect a player of his calibre to kick.
Still, if you're having 6 shots on goal every week, you'd be happy.
Good switch from Archer. Has got Baird. He can go, John Baird. Has a bounce on the defensive 50. Comes inboard to Sinclair. Baird gets it back. Dangerous. Not out of trouble yet. Sinclair on the left boot. Heads up towards Harvey. Wearing him closely. Baker. Ball took a right-hand turn. Came back in. Favoured Thompson. Harris tackled well. We'll have a bounce out of side of the ground.
Pretty strong in the body, Daniel Harris, isn't he? He's able to stand up in the tackle very well, and good picture of that then.
27 points the margin, 8 3/4 minutes remaining. Second turn. Petrie got it moving forward. Wells taps it to himself, goes again. Good pressure, Montagna. Arriving late was Nick Del Santo. Will have a throw in. Left forward pocket. Kangaroos threatening. They're 27 points in arrears.
The thing that's working for Stephen Baker's job on Shannon Grant, 3 disposals to this part of the game, so he's doing his job for the team.
We know what he's capable of, though, Shorey. Shannon Grant, here he is on cue. Hasn't had much of it. What can he do? One way, then the other, around the corner, centering kick. They'll fly!
Great.
And flying high was Nathan Thompson. Terrific mark. Pats on the back and backside from Archer and Rocker. He'll line up directly in front, 20 metres out.
Shannon Grant, you are a star. Every time he gets the ball, something happens.
There's been a terrific pickup. Nathan Thompson sits crossing from Hawthorn. Has kicked 46 goals, 28 for the Kangaroos. This for 47. No problems. The margin now back to 21 points.
Probably been the recruit of the year, I think, Nathan Thompson. As Swatter just said, that's his 47th goal for the season. Been very consistent, giving them a target. Great kick at goal. Can play in the ruck as well. He's had an enormous year for them.
So again, the Kangaroos managed to just hang in. The margin 21 points. Bit of push and shove between Gehrig and Brown. Hamill in there as well for Rito.
And the longer they stay in the game, they've got enormous confidence now that their last quarters are as good as anybody in the competition. But I don't know, that happens against other opposition. This is a very classy opposition, St Kilda. So
the Saints have lost just 1/4 of football in 5 weeks. It's an amazing record. They are very consistent. Don't expect them to pull up short. Montagna inside 50. Rewalt. Watt came through. Harris, the clever gather. Now to make peace. It was tidy football from Daniel Harris. The kick to a contest. Jones in one motion. Brilliant handball to Harvey. Opens the door for Lenny Hayes. He runs to 60. Centres it up. Gehrig will come from behind. Lee Brown in front. Got it to the contest. And now a chance for the Roos through for Rito. Nothing to kick to at all. So he rolls out the barrel. It'll pitch inside the line. It'll bounce back towards Ackland. Rawlings was held when not in possession, and that worked out well for the Roos.
ooh,
Harvey and Del Santo wrestle at ground level. And plenty of niggle in this game. It's been fantastic.
Kane Ackland at the moment, he's just not up with the game, is he? It looks like he's been out for a while. Came back last week, I think it was. Still a bit rusty.
Yeah, missed 2 weeks with a knee injury. You can see it heavily strapped. Here's Harvey with a double chance spot on the line here. You can understand why these two sides are going at it. In a way, it's a virtual qualifying final. Rawlings down the line to Grant. As Milne comes off for a spell, replaced by Powell. Grant plays on. Spears to 50.
Lovely.
And again finds Thompson, who could just about go the journey from here with his best. Realises the goal square's open. He loads it up with everything he's got and gets it to the line. It's touched. Saw the opportunity with no tall men back in the square, went for it. Just couldn't quite clear the pack.
Bit of deja vu here of the first quarter. I thought the second half of the first quarter, the Kangaroos started to get back in the game.
They run on strong, don't they? They do finish quarters well. Harvey, in the blink of an eye, it's on centre wing, and Hayes has it. Has got a man over the top. Montagna can go just about all the way here. He's charging away from Jess Sinclair. He's had 2 bounces. Goes to 50, delivers beautifully.
Right.
Wonderful transition football from the Saints.
Geez, that hurts, doesn't it, when the kick out and they take the ball coast to coast under no pressure. Good play from Lee Montagna. Kangaroos just had all the play there for a while, and St Kilda, when they score, they seem to be able to score a bit more easily than the Kangaroos have, and Aaron Hamill now has a shot from about 40 metres out.
His kicking for goal this year has been excellent. 17 goals, 6 for the season. And this for the Saints to again just reassert themselves. They lead by 20 points as we close in on half-time. Aaron Hamill. Looks good off the boot. Never looked like missing. The Saints pull away again, the margin back out to 26 points.
Well, I agree with you, Luke. Every time St Kilda go forward, they do kick their goals easier. But the thing is, they've been inside 21 times inside 50. The Kangaroos 10, so the efficiency, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree totally. They're probably getting the ball, I would think, between the point post in front of goal, where the Kangaroos are going a little bit wider. I know Thompson had that shot from outside 50. Matter of fact, they're getting it a lot bigger distance or longer distance away from goal and on more of an angle.
St Kilda 9-4-58. They lead the Kangaroos 5-2-32. And they've been going at it all afternoon for Rideau and Hamill. No love lost there. David Hale is against Blake. Wells. Loose ball. Here they go again. Hayes handball. Might have been meant for Harvey, but intercepting it was Sinclair. Perkins. Look out, Hamill's arriving late. Was up to it. Got it to Hale. Heads out wide to Baird. Wrong side of his body. It's a good kick nonetheless. Finds Corey Jones. He gets onto his preferred left boot. That's a high thumping kick. Arriving Sav. Well, sort of got the indication he arrived. He knew that there was Nathan Thompson. Looked as though he was going to stop, but continued with it. Nonetheless, took a good mark.
Great judgment, wasn't it, from Rocker? That ball nearly hit the roof, and he's just, as you said, Swatter, he didn't jump too high. He knew where the flight of the ball was coming in, and you wouldn't want to have any other player with the ball in his hands at this point in time to have a shot at goal to get them back into the contest.
And Corey Jones, well, he just turned around and belted it in there. If you're going to play 3 forwards like Rocker, Thompson and Hale, kick it in long and kick it in quick, one-on-one.
For his second, it's been a good combination with Nathan Thompson. Took their time, but they've kicked in excess of 79 goals, these two players. Sav Rocker, that prodigious right foot boot does not let him down again. He's got 2.
Get it in and they'll deliver for you, gentlemen. 6 goals, 2 they've kicked from 12 inside 50s. That remarkable efficiency continues.
8 score. So what's that?
8 scoring shots, plus and out on the full. They've only been in there 12 times.
That is amazing. And the thing about it, like I said, they have gone tall. It's either Hale's gone in the ruck now, and Petrie's gone forward. So I see a bit of a weakness with Max Hudson out of this St Kilda side. I think that Fisher and Penny might be weak links, although I think Fisher's had a great season.
As you said, though, Tony, it sounds basic, but when he just swung around and got the ball, it was a poor kick, but, geez, they look dangerous when they do that.
So they hang in. 20 points the margin. 4.5 minutes remaining until half-time. Looms is a crucial 4.5 minutes. Hale beaten by Koschitzki. Saints have been slick out of the middle in this second term. Ball went to Thompson. He's wrapped up. Andrew Thompson and Brent Harvey having a 2-man war in this second term. Thompson, a real hard physical tag on Brent Harvey.
It's worked well for St Kilda. Thompson and Peckett have worked in tandem against opposition best players, and the two of them have really worked over Brent Harvey today.
Wells, the 3rd man up. Wins it at ground level himself. Forced to backtrack by Ball, but dishes it off. Here's Shannon Watt, tucks it under the arm, goes for a run, launches it long. Grant, the only chance for the Roos. Getting back is Baker. It pitches away from them. And Voss happy to see it over the line for a throw-in, 45 metres out from the Kangaroo goal, as Harvey and Thompson continue to push and shove off the ball. Under 4 minutes till half-time. The game delicately poised. Blake up for the Saints. Rocker tries to paddle to advantage. Ball taken down. Came to Harvey with the outside of the boot. It was actually the inside of the boot. The outside was the one he was looking for. Out of bounds on the full. Voss with the resultant free kick. Spots a target and finds Stephen Baker. Hayes offers a short lead. It's ignored. Harvey works hard to try and create some space for the Saints. Baker in the end forced his kick to a contest down the line. Revolt and Kazitsky there for St Kilda. Roved off the pack by Del Santo. Sublimely to Robert Harvey. Inside 50. Brown all over Gehrig. And that's the thing when they get it in quickly to a one-on-one. The strength of Fraser Gehrig has Brown anticipating that problem.
I think he's got to take the punt and play 2 steps in front of him, because Fraser doesn't jump and mark in a pack. So that's the spot. He's going to hold him off the ball if he gets front position. You can see it there, or get him on a lead. Take the punt and go forward, and hopefully someone might help you from behind.
Fraser Gehrig to once again push that lead out to 26 points.
He's got a bit of cotton wool stuffed up that nose there, Fraser.
He's booted 2. Starts it to the left. It's trying to work back. Just grazes the outside of the post. For a minor score, Dean Lately, I'm sure, breathes a huge sigh of relief in the box. The margin 21 points with under 3 minutes remaining. The Kangaroos needing to hold between now and half-time.
Baird will bring the ball back in. Doesn't have a lot on. Goes long. Rewalt to Fly. Ball spills free to Luke Ball. Toe pokes it off the side of the boot fortuitously to Lenny Hayes. To Montagna. From outside 50, Lee Montagna gets a lovely piece of the football.
Beautiful kick.
And that is a terrific finish. They didn't clear it, the Kangaroos. No, mate, you pay every time, Luke Darcy.
They will, Swatter, and Lee Montagna's shown a bit today. He's pushing for a spot in the finals team, and you know, kick goals like that. He had to run down the ground a bit earlier, sure, he took a bounce, and as you see here on the replay, if he kick goals from outside 50, he'll find himself a spot in the team.
Well, he is quick, and Lenny Hayes, no hesitation in giving him the ball, because he would have been on his non-preferred anyway, Lenny Hayes. He did that easy. That's one thing, Lee Montagna. He's always been a good kick. And finished off beautifully there, but his speed also. He plays hard on a wing, hasn't had a lot of game time. He'd get a game in any other club in the competition, I would think.
They say timing's everything in football, and closing in on the finals, Lee Montagna's worked his way into this side. Grant to Archer. Crashes through one. Can't get through the second, holding the ball. Good pressure from Lenny Hayes. The Saints away. They've got a sniff here just before half-time to really do some damage on the scoreboard. Jones out wide. Powell's got a couple of metres on Archer. And again, it's Thompson and Harvey. We've mentioned they've been at it all day. Revolt, 55 from home. Kangaroos just losing some focus at the moment, and St Kilda ready to make them pay. Revolt to Gehrig, over his head and picked off by Brown. Can the Kangaroos respond? They've got less than 2 minutes until half-time.
It is a bantamweight division, those two also.
Pratt. Nothing to kick to. Wells works hard to create an option for him now. Just gets away from Montagna with sheer pace. Buys himself from time. Goes down the line. Jones was his target. It was an ambitious kick, and it's picked off by Voss. St Kilda rallying for one last roll. Kazitsky. Shannon Watt zoned back on his own at centre-half back, so Kazitsky will go wide to Revolt. Baird gives away a free kick.
Gee, they switched the play well, St Kilda.
They're on the ropes, the Roos, at the moment. Baker takes it. He's 55 from home, outside his range. The Roos with plenty of numbers back. Gehrig at the top of the square. Del Santo there as well. They move it on quickly to a 2-on-2. Del Santo couldn't mark. He can kick a goal. He can't keep his feet. It's still alive in the goal square, and the Kangaroos defuse that bomb. Defending grimly in the dying stages of the second quarter. The margin 28 points. Daniel Wells goes towards Harvey. He's got 3 to beat. If it hits the ground, he's going to be in trouble. Needs to work it to the line. In real strife now, the Kangaroos. Harvey picks it up, gives it to Hayes to execute. Lenny Hayes goes bang. A big goal in the shadows of half-time. And when that kick-in came in, you just realised if Brent Harvey didn't mark it, the Roos were in all sorts of trouble.
It's probably a poor option in the end from Daniel Wells. He's kicked it to Brent Harvey on his head with 3 players around him, and they've struggled on their kick-outs. They've struggled on the set plays, the Kangaroos. It hasn't been their strong point. And St Kilda turn around and capitalise and kick what are relatively easily goals against the flow of play.
Well, what's happened? They've got a zone in place, St Kilda. The Kangaroos are all huddling in the middle, but they're not getting numbers, as in the total numbers going to one side of the ground. They have to get that organised.
26 possessions in his last 5 games against the Kangaroos. He has his first for the afternoon. That's 9 goals, 11 for the year for Lenny Hayes, as Daniel Wells has a rest. Petrie through his legs. Hayes over the top, as is Perkins, and will go again. Lenny Hayes wins himself a free kick for a push in the back.
Got to get Jess Sinclair in the game somehow. He's on the wing at the moment. I think he plays better off halfback. Even make a swap with Makepeace or someone to get him into the game.
Luke Ball got a handball from Lenny Hayes, but not a good kick. He picked out Shannon Watt. And that should be it for the first half of what has been a terrific game of football so far. 34 points the margin in favour of St Kilda. They have all the answers. There's a fair bit of work left for the Kangaroos. High ball, Corey Jones flew. Voss gets it back. Tumbles the kick towards forward 50, but running with the flight of the ball is Michael Ferrito as the siren sounds for half-time. The Kangaroos 6-2-38. They trail the Saints 11-6-72.
34 points the margin at the major change. The Saints adding 6 goals 4 to 3 goals 1 in that second term. Gehrig and Milne with 2 goals apiece, while Rocker has 2 for the Kangaroos. And once again, the Roos find themselves hitting the main break with plenty of work to do. You wouldn't write them off, but St Kilda looking good at half-time. They lead by 34 points. This is Saturday afternoon football, live and exclusive from the Telstra Dome. You're watching it right around Australia on Fox Footy. Back to analyse the first half right after this. Half-time at the Telstra Dome, Saturday afternoon football sees the Saints with a handy 34-point lead as we head boundary side. Here's Glenn Manton.
Thanks, Jason. We can't afford a fat lady, I should say, today, because the shin boner's never out of it. But we do have someone rather special with us, just to give us a little bit of a rendition as we move into this second half. I think we've heard more than enough from the Saints supporters. They'll be in full voice into this second half.
No room for culture on Saturday afternoon football. As the Kangaroos come back out to do battle in the second half. Still, look at determination in their eyes. They trail by 34 points, but they have won their last 8 second halves. The third quarter obviously going to be all important, but we know the way the Kangaroos play. They hang in and they chip away at leads. They're not necessarily going to come with a huge rush all in one go, but they'll just hang in the contest.
They will. They'll back themselves in after the previous 2 weeks, Tony, and Jim Cracker there in the crowd, I think.
Oh, what a great player Jimmy Cracker was.
I'd like to have him running around the second half, wouldn't they?
Oh, magnificent. And with Phil in tandem, gee, they were brilliant, those 2 players. But you're right. Look, it's the start of this quarter is so important, the Kangaroos. I think they have to kick the first 2. If they go the other way, this game could be blown out. You never give in against the Kangaroos, or they never give in. But, Luke, it's a big start, and they really need to start this third quarter.
Have to take some risks, don't they? I think. I mean, going into the second half, I think they've had numbers back. We spoke about that at half-time. I think if they just get the ball in long to Thompson and Rocker, maybe Shannon Grant at their feet, and they need some more ball from their midfield ball winners. They need them to win the ball in the second half and get it in quickly and give it a go in the second half.
Now, you've kicked 6 goals with a tall forward line. I just wonder whether they can say to a Nathan Thompson and Rocker for 10 minutes of the first part of the third quarter, maybe you're going to be decoys. I know you're big bodies, but it might be the Shannon Grants and other types of players. 6 goals and a half. You're not going to win games with only 6 goals in the next half. So, you know, they might have to take a couple of risks, and it means that some of these players have to discipline themselves and sacrifice themselves for the team.
What they've got to do is come out switched on, the Kangaroos. They didn't in the second quarter, and they're up against the best third quarter team in the competition, St Kilda. They've won 16 of 19 third quarters this season. In the last 5 weeks, they've booted 58 goals to 23. And the Kangaroos just not in a position to be taking any liberties this afternoon. They must come out like their lives depend on it, particularly, as Tony said, in this first 10 to 15 minutes to set the scene and have the margin contracting as opposed to expanding, because when you're 34 points down, there's just no margin for error.
Absolutely right, Jason, and I think you know, the first set of bounce will be interesting. They've got Drew Petrie back in. They've let him run around in the ruck today, and he really needs to have an impact on the game. He's a mobile player. He plays at centre forward, doing a bit of work. Glenn Archer, it looks as though he's going to go and start the game in the forward half of the ground, or he's actually going down back, it is. But maybe throw him back into the centre square bounce for a physical presence, Tony, and you know, they need to try something in the second half to get themselves back into it.
They really need a lift from Corey Jones, Lee Harding and Shannon Grant if he's going to play forward. Looks like Shannon Grant's gone into the centre bounce. Harvey's across the half-forward line. I would think Shannon Grant might just go straight forward after this bounce and Harvey on ball.
And a late change. Baird comes off, Pratt comes on as they look at the matchups and the structure.
Oh, and there's that matchup we've always wanted. Archer on Hamill.
And they start 25 metres out from the St Kilda goal.
Now that's heavyweight.
Third term, double chance maybe on the line here for the Kangaroos. Saturday afternoon football from the Dome. St Kilda lead it by 34 points. Kazitsky versus Petrie. They pile in on top hard. I expect the first 10 minutes here to be just as hot as it was in the opening 10 minutes of the game. It needs to be for the Kangaroos. They really must come to play in this third stanza. Luke Ball on the bottom of the pack as he has been all afternoon. 16 possessions, leads the game. Ferrito goes up as third man. Simpson harassed off the football. Wells comes in over the top. Holding the ball. Free kick going the way of the Kangaroos. And again, it's Luke Ball on the bottom of that pack. In fact, it's Lee Montagna. Wells has it. Again, the Saints back in numbers. Wells straight up the middle of the ground. Kazitsky tries to zone back, but he can't get back to Big Sav. And that is a heavy hit. There's Matt Maguire. He looks stunned. Courage from Kazitsky. He went back with the flight. Maguire up here is as tough as old boots.
Well, it's not too far where he had that sickening head clash with Chris Hyde earlier this year. So I don't know what it is with this ground. I'll be having a quiet word with my teammate there, Luke, perhaps.
He is as tough as a roadhouse steak, Matt Maguire.
Now let's have a look at the technique of Sav Rocker on the kick here. Beautiful follow through. This is where it differs from 30 metres.
Rocker from inside the centre square. Launches it and drills it. Just what the Kangaroos needed. Rocker's got 3.
That's the blueprint for the way they want to play, isn't it, the Kangaroos? Sav Rocker on a strong, hard lead. They had Nathan Thompson sitting in the goal square. Matt Maguire, I think he might be concussed still, Maguire, because he's got up, throwing his weight around. And if they can get the ball in Rocker's hands in the forward 50, Daniel Wells got it out of the centre. Quick lead to Rocker, and he goes back and he'll slot them every day of the week.
Oh, yeah, just a beautiful kick. And that time, Matt Maguire, Kazitsky, too much courage for his teammates. Good, but he's up on his feet. Nathan Thompson playing from the square, and Sav Rocker, they might have identified with Maguire playing about 10 metres in front of the square.
Kangaroos with the first. Sav Rocker's got 3. Daniel Wells set that up, and they'll go again inside 50 for Rito. It's a high ball, hangs in the air. St Kilda players Fisher and Maguire spoil each other. Hale does the roaming, gives it to the smaller man, Harding, centering kick towards Corey Jones. Got it.
Great kick by Harding. They're the blokes who are at the left. We called it just after half-time. Harding to Corey Jones had quiet first halves.
They're on, aren't they?
For the second in a minute. And just the start, Dean Lady would have implored his charges, Luke.
Absolutely. We said in the first half, they only got the ball inside 50 12 times. They scored on 8 of those occasions, so they're 2 from 2 in the second half. Get the ball in there, and they just look dangerous.
Coming up for possession number 11. There's one behind beside his name. He's averaging 18 possessions and kicked 9 goals, 8. In the last 4 weeks, Corey Jones.
Oh, didn't kick through that.
Well, that tells its story. There you go, Tony. There's that lesson. You see Sav Rocker a moment ago just bang it from outside 50. And there's another example of a young man just trying to steer the ball through for a goal.
Well, it looked like he staggered his run-up. You know, he must have a technique, whether it's that, but he staggered his run-up and got a bit close to the mark, and that means you have to kick it higher with a bent knee. And I should know, because I was one of the greatest kicks of all time, as you blokes know.
Saints just need to deflate the Kangaroos' tyres a little bit here. The Roos have come out fired up. Jones to the wing. Kazitsky a couple to beat. Great effort from Rocker to get across. Numbers at ground level for the Saints. Penny
to Fisher, to Harvey. Beautiful kick to Revolt. And again, we see St Kilda move it sweetly from half-back. Revolt goes to the pocket. Happy to sit it up for Fraze. Going across his Makepeace. Milne, the danger man, from a tight angle. Takes them on across the face. Misses the lot. Brent Guerra stands 25 metres out from goal. Wide open with his hands up.
Well, have a look. Here's Corey Jones. What do you think, Luke? Being a great kick as you are.
He's just chipped at that, hasn't he? He's about 30 metres out, as Swatter said. He knew straight away the second he left his boot, he wasn't happy at all.
This game so delicately poised. The margin 27 points, but the Kangaroos with little margin error to come back, and the Saints looking to shut the door. Every chance important early in this third term. Archer can square it up to Sinclair. He can go from defensive 20. Wants to set it up. He's got a man straight up the middle. They've opened it up. St Kilda's own right back into their own defensive half this time, allowing the Kangaroos to work it up the ground through Watt. He goes to 50 and finds Harding. We've seen St Kilda play the equivalent of the full court press in basketball terms for much of the first half, not conceding possession to 50. On that occasion they did, and that played into the Kangaroos' hands.
It's great to see the Kangaroos, sorry, Short, to switch the play then. They didn't do that a lot in the second half, and they switched the ball back into the middle, and it opened up a lead for Lee Harding.
And Stevie Milne's been taken from the ground, and I think it's because Jason said that Guerra was on for the centering kick, and he wasn't disciplined enough, so he's come off and power on.
He's a 50-50 prospect, Lee Harding. He's booted 16-14 for the season. These are the goals they need to kick to get back in the game. From just outside 50, it's heading left, and he misses.
Well, that's what Lee Harding, not kick like that, but that's what he's got to do. Aussie Jones is playing on him. He has to be a marking option when when the Kangaroos come forward to make Aussie Jones man up.
Need to convert the Kangaroos. Sav Rocker got him off to a dream start, and then Corey Jones from directly in front. And that attempt there by Lee Harding could prove costly late in the game. Thompson, deep in defence, goes short, finds Robert Harvey. A wonderful player he's been over a number of years.
Gee, they work well off the ball, St Kilda, mate. You can see all those players fall to the ball, making space for each other.
And they find Lee Fisher into some space. Comes inside the centre square with Wells in pursuit. It was Sam Fisher, I should say. High ball, Kajitsky outnumbered, and there's a whistle on play. Kangaroos free kick. Oh, fortunately, as Nick Rewalt storms towards an open goal square. David Hale. Harvey to whip around the back and gets it. Now Hale provides a shepherd on Rewalt. And they head up the middle again, the Kangaroos. Terrific vision too. He's got Makepeace. Simpson wants it. Ignores that to Grant. They worked it beautifully. That's the second time in this quarter that we've seen them head straight up the middle after opening up the Saints. Grant doesn't waste any time. He's got a loose man. Rocker. Was that late?
I don't think it was late, but whether the umpire thought he didn't watch the ball,
no. Common sense prevailed. Darren Goldspeak right on the spot there.
Almost doesn't matter with Sav, does it?
No, I agree with you. I know he's going to be on the line, but if it took him to about 20 out, I'd rather have Sav kick him for 50. Let's have a look here. No, he was in the air, nothing underwood there.
It was a great kick from Brent Harvey in the lead up to that, wasn't it? He's just spotted, I think it was Troy Makepeace in the centre of the ground, opened up the play, and Sav Rocker looks dangerous on the lead.
Well, he's lining up for his fourth, his previous best, 4 goals, 1, round 20 last year. An important goal too for the Kangaroos. Distance will not be a problem. From on 50. Well, you put the Moz on him, Tony. He tumbled it forward. Loose ball. Ferrito dispossessed. Aussie Jones through traffic.
Oh, lovely kick.
Finds Rewalt. And they run en masse, the Saints. Can come out to Robert Harvey near side of the ground. Ignores that. Maguire's broken. Sav Rocker in pursuit. Did well, Big Sav. Got a hand on it. Jones had followed up. Got it to Maguire. To Luke Ball. Tackled by Wells. The pressure's gone up a couple of notches. Grant met heavily by Stephen Baker. Bump. Petrie sees Matt Maguire doesn't get the ball out. We'll have a bounce.
3 costly misses, haven't they been, to start the second half. They've had all the play. They've come out firing and missed 3 shots on goal that they could easily have kicked.
Kajitsky. Hamill. Towards the boundary line. Grant. No, it's Simpson it was. Archer sees it out.
In the back. Free kick. It's turning at the moment. You're right, Luke. The Kangaroos have got control.
Just more direct. They're able to get it inside 50. Just 12 inside 50s in the first half. They've had 4 and 8 minutes here. Harding has it in the centre of the ground. The Roos on a roll. Here comes Thompson. He's out in front. Juggles it, couldn't bring it down. He's got some support at ground level. Milne taken down by Brown. Thompson had an important hand in there, but it comes to Harvey. Now Voss, Fisher and Jones. He'll switch play. Couple of options on the outer side. One of them is Maguire. And the pressure has been like the opening 10 minutes of the game. Both sides come out switched on. So often in modern day football, that period straight after half-time can be a bit flat. Not today. Fisher, uncertain of his options. The Roos have zoned back in numbers. He's got nothing to kick to. Goes short at the feet of Hamill. Here's a turnover for the Roos. Wells has it. Needs to get some space. Handball for Ferrito. Releases him. He's got a man forward of the football. It's Jones. Jones from 70 metres out. Loads it up, going for Harding at the top of the square. One-on-one with Aussie Jones. At ground level, it's still alive. St Kilda with some numbers. Up the middle through Voss. Over the top came Simpson. An important fist gathered by Grant. Now to Sinclair. Harvey over the top to Harding. Missed the body. He's going to be under pressure. 5 Saints converge on him. And again, they save the day. Aussie Jones, exciting football at the Dome. Ball, he's going to be run down. Just got boot to ball and finds Peckett on centre wing. Peckett goes to Kazitsky. Milne calls for it. Fraser calls for it. Nick Rewalt's there. Couldn't take the mark. It's still alive. Brown pressures him. Montagna. Gehrig's 30 metres on his own if St Kilda can get the football. Milne's got it now. Kangaroos fighting for their lives at the moment. They had to hold it in because Gehrig had peeled off the contest. He was on his own at the top of the goal square. If it had have come out, it was a St Kilda goal for sure.
Oh, magnificent play by both sides. A lot of pressure. Great call, Jason.
26 points the margin in favour of St Kilda. Hamill, Archer with the tackle. Simpson might have heard the call from Makepeace. Headed in that direction. And the Kangaroos defender can measure his options. Heads up towards Harvey. Thompson arriving. Does it stay in? No. Much to the angst of Brett Harvey and Tony Shaw in the box, but it's gone up a couple of notches here.
Oh, just great play, wasn't it? All these players, they're putting it on the line at the moment because they are being challenged St Kilda by the Kangaroos here.
Ferrito got the handball away despite the loop ball tackle. Thompson to Del Santo. Weaving through traffic. Sits the ball up for Harvey. He let it go for Kashitsky. Petrie couldn't get a hand on it. Did well, the Saints ruckman. Got it into the path of Harvey, but up to the task was Sinclair. Towards Milne. And Makepeace makes sure he doesn't elude that tackle. Sees him out of bounds, will have a throw in. Lee Brown gets over and pats his teammate on the back. He understands the importance of that particular piece of play.
Just great contests everywhere in the second half of the game, and just every player one-on-one, and fantastic start to the second half.
Grant Thomas, Milne opens up the angle directly in front. Can he bring it back? He does, but too far. Well, that's his bread and butter. And there's a let-off this time for the Saints.
Stephen Milne, he's probably the best just about ever, I reckon, at that snap at goal. He's just absolute certainty from that position, so a let-off for the Kangaroos.
It's not often that the game's got a 27-point margin, but it's tense. It is genuinely tense here at the Telstra Dome at the moment. Scoreboard almost irrelevant as these two sides go at it. Watt to Ferrito. He's corralled at half forward, spins and fends off his man, gets boot to ball inside 50. Here comes Simpson. Crashing through the other way was Maguire. Outstanding football. To centre half forward, it's all Kangaroos. Archer and Pratt. And Archer makes a certainty of it.
Well, I thought he was going to mess it up by showing courage. His man was going to take the ball in Pratt.
Makepeace to Sinclair. This game really starting to open up now. Not a lot of space for either side in the first half, particularly for the Roos, but now they've got some room to run. Sinclair inside 50, Maguire again. The delivery going forward just needs to be a bit better. Maguire called to play on, had to kick quickly. It's a 2-on-1 for the Saints. And Harvey wins the football. Peckett runs to give him a screen. Down the line towards Rewalt. Pratt in over the top of him. Tries to hold it in. Umpire will call for a bounce. 27 points the margin. 13.5 gone on Saturday afternoon football.
So a lot of supporters that holding the ball rule now, if it's one-on-one and someone pulls it in and they can't get it out, what the umpires are doing are waiting for the third man in, and then they will pay it against that side. It's a different interpretation, I think, over the last couple of weeks.
Peck it off, Baker on. Petrie hacks it out of mid-air for Rito. Mark won't be paid. Again, spins through 2 tackles, releases a handball. Sinclair gets there ahead of Hayes. Bangs it on the boot. Thompson attacks it. It'll bounce in front of him. Rawlings comes flashing past. He gets a bounce, Brady Rawlings. He runs to 40. Goes for goal. Puts it across the face. It's there for Rocker. Was there a nudge? St Kilda fans think so. But Severio Rocker from point-blank range to go back and convert for the Kangaroos.
All right, Luke, call it before we see it. What do you think? I don't think you're allowed to use your hands in the contest.
Pay the mark, I reckon. Give the forward the benefit of the doubt.
Can hold his ground.
Yeah, of course.
Can hold his ground as long as there's not 2 movements. We'll have a look at the replay shortly. Rocker for goal number 4. Severio Rocker joins Harry Soapy Valance as the 16th greatest goal kicker in the history of the game. And what a vital goal it is. He's got 2 in this 3rd term. And again, the margin back to 21 points. The Kangaroos right back in it.
Well, the rule is if you use your arms to push a player out of the contest and you can see the arms move away from the body, it should be paid against you. A lot of times the interpretation... Let's have a look. He's got it. Look, he's going to have body strength anyway on Luke Penny. Let's see if he uses his arms. That, in the new interpretation, should be a free kick. I know it's soft. You don't think so, Luke?
It wasn't in the side, was it, Tony? I think that was probably pretty good strength.
No, you're not allowed to use, it doesn't matter side or anywhere. You're not allowed to use your hands in a pushing motion away from your body, even if it's in the back or the side. That's the new interpretation. I don't mind it, but, gee, great, Mark. It's too much body strength anyway.
Pressure's gone up out there and the temperature's gone up in here. It's gone up 5 degrees. Luke Darcy and Tony Shaw will come back to that now shortly. The Saints, can they reply? Oh, terrific lunging tackle there from Harris on Luke Ball. Powell dishes one out himself. There's a free kick, advantage paid. The Kangaroos through Rawlings, who set up that goal to Sav Rocker. He's got a loose man for Rito. Del Santo couldn't get there in time. Towards Baird. They're up the Roos. Grant wants it. Doesn't seem. He's got Thompson in the goal square with Maguire.
No one in the square. Could have a long shot here.
And he will. Won't make the distance. A high ball. Just inside the square. Pack forms. Rush behind, but the momentum has most definitely come out with the Kangaroos after half-time, Luke.
Probably wasn't a great kick there from Baird in the end. He just made it easy for the backman to spoil over the line. He should have kicked it about 20 metres shorter.
Jason Blake comes straight off the bench. Harvey receives the kick. The way the momentum's going at the moment, St Kilda need to turn it around. The Kangaroos could be in front at 3/4 time, the way the game's flowing as we speak.
And don't worry about Luke Darcy on Tony Shaw, Wayne Swash. You know that a good little man will always beat a big man.
Powell towards half-forward. 2 tough nuts, Maguire and Archer.
What a great game, hasn't it? Lifted.
And we spoke about Severio Rocker and his 722nd, 21st goal to join with Soapy Valance. The 2 players directly above him now, just 5 goals in front. A couple of hacks by the name of Peter Hudson and Wayne Carey. So he is in elite company, Severio Rocker, as one of the great all-time goal kickers. Just 5 goals behind Peter Hudson and Wayne Carey.
Well, one a great centre-half forward, and Peter Hudson, who tragically, because of a knee injury, his career was ended short, a short career, ended by a knee injury. So 2 great players.
Ferrito, 3rd man up. Harvey releases Powell. Fisher will be run down by Harding. Released a handball to Ball. Chance now for the Saints inside 50. Garrick versus Brown. Going back, Pratt, an important hand. Here's the dangerous Milne. This is Stephen Milne's office. Twisting and turning around Makepeace. Umpire said he handballed, play on. Blake feeds it back. Chance for the Saints through Powell across the face and misses the lot. The pressure again from the Roos in their back half. They look to be in all sorts of trouble. Somehow they managed to scrap and scrape and claw and dodge another bullet.
I'll tell you what's happening now. The St Kilda key forwards can't mark the ball. That was the problem with the Kangaroos in the first half.
Questionable option from Hale. Best result there for the Kangaroos. He went to Perkins 2-on-1. In the end, the boundary line, a good result. 20 points the margin, 5 minutes remaining until 3/4 time. The Roos coming again. Important 5 minutes between now and the break. Ball over the top, magnificent sweeping handball to Harvey. Kick drops short, free kick. Free kick to Garrick. Dragged down by Brown. And Fraser Garrick will go back for number 3. Again, to just re-establish that margin beyond 25 points. The Roos haven't been able to get within 20 points for much of the day.
You almost feel for Lee Brown today. He's got the enormous job of playing on Fraser Gehrig, and he's just battled hard, but given away a couple of free kicks at the wrong time. And I think Shorey said before half-time, he's just maybe got to take a chance, play a couple of metres in front. Gehrig might be good enough to take a mark on him anyway, but free kicks like this are, really going to hurt.
So every time the Roos close in, St Kilda have just been able to kick a goal when it matters and keep them at bay. This to extend it back out to 26 points. Gehrig for his third. Makes no mistake. 3 goals, 2 to Fraser Gehrig. St Kilda get their 12th. They're 12-7-79. The Kangaroos 8-5-53. As we approach time on in the third term on Saturday afternoon football. Here's Glenn Manton, boundary side.
Well, we speak about Brown's positioning on Gehrig. I think what's happening is he is playing too far in front. He's playing up to 10 metres in front of Fraser Gehrig, and at times he's getting lost as the ball's coming down the ground into the forward line. So he needs to have a little bit more touch and feel. 2 metres may be the appropriate distance, but I believe he's best to play him from Fraser's hip.
And while we're on Fraser Gehrig, let's acknowledge the fact that that's his 400th career goal, an outstanding achievement to go along with Sav Rocker, who's having a game himself. Sinclair with a strong tackle over the top of Powell. Pack forms. We'll go again. The margin 26 points as Aaron Hamill patiently waits to get back into the fray, Tony.
The other thing about Lee Brown is I think he's an aggressive player, but I think he's got to annoy Fraser Gehrig a little bit more.
Put him off his game?
Yeah, just try and annoy him, get him off his game, because he'll give free kicks away. If it's not working one way, you've got to revert to something else.
Robert Harvey got a hand of the ball. Good play, in fact. Got it to Peckett. Another one of these veterans used off great effect off the bench. Goes to Mill. The dangerous crumbing forward. What can he do? The unpredictable. No 15. Play on. Gets it back from Powell. Can't escape the Baird lunging tackle. Powell. High ball towards the boundary line, but Peckett's out there. It doesn't stay in. We'll have a boundary throw in outer side of the ground. Intersection of the boundary line and the 50-metre arc for the Saints.
Danger time for the Roos, isn't it? The Kangaroos, St Kilda rather, just steadying again, looking dangerous.
Got Aaron Hamill. This near side of the ground, all on his own as Jess Sinclair makes his way back. Petrie over the top, Powell late.
Well, Glenn Archer's pushed forward when Hamill came off the ground before, so you would think Hamill would go back to that role and maybe Sinclair push up the ground.
John Baird marking Justin Kajitsky at the goal face. Fraser Gehrig and Lee Brown just outside the top of the square. A lot of space for the St Kilda forwards if they get it in quickly. Bounce just inside the 50-metre arc. Good tap by Blake, but sharking that was Makepeace. Jones got a finger on it. Hamill sees it out of bounds and will go again.
Just under 3.5 minutes remaining until three-quarter time. Kangaroos have added 2 goals 3 to St Kilda's 1 goal 1 in this term. Margin 26 points. The Roos would be desperate to grab one more and just have a really manageable margin at three-quarter time. Hale forced to go the fist. Montagna spun through a tackle and released the ball to Maguire. It was smothered. Fierce tackling again from the Kangaroos. Peckett trying to bust through, couldn't do so. Good solid tackle from Daniel Pratt. We'll have a bounce.
A telling part of this game could be the benches. You've got young Justin Perkins and also David Trotter on the bench for the Kangaroos. Well, you've got experienced players for St Kilda as the free kicks given away in the ruck contest.
Yeah, they've played 5 games between them, Shorey, those two, and that'll be 50. Ball not delivered back on the full to Corey Jones. That might be the break the Kangas need to get some of that momentum back.
Yeah, very crucial part of this game now with 3 minutes to go. St Kilda, as you said before, Jason, they steadied the ship. We thought, hang on a minute, they might pile on a couple of goals in red time, as we say, at the end of the game. But this is an important shot at goal from Corey Jones. They missed a couple early in the quarter that you think a bit of a soft 50 maybe, although you've got to throw the ball back. Got to throw the ball back on the full. So Corey Jones, an important shot here.
Jason Blake was looking for his man and didn't even look where he's throwing the ball as he comes straight off the ground. You just got to make sure it gets back to the player on the full.
So Jones has looked dangerous today. He's had 13 possessions, hasn't kicked a goal. This a huge kick from just inside 50. He bangs it through. He gets his first, and again, the Kangaroos get back to a manageable 20-point margin. And they'd be fancying their chances if they can keep it at least at the maximum. No more than 20 points. They really fancy their chances of storming home.
Especially given their recent history, Jason. They've shown they can run over the top of sides. You've got Shannon Grant, who's the ace up their sleeve. He'd be thinking, geez, I can do this again for the side. And well done to Corey Jones. He tried to go third man up at the contest, won himself a free kick, gets a 50-metre penalty. The Kangaroos are right back in this.
They have that luxury of injecting a Shannon Grant, I guess, who's had 3 occasions this year against St Kilda earlier on this year where he's won a game with the fourth quarter, 3 goals in those particular terms. It's a nice ace to have up your sleeve. Corey Jones tumbles the ball forward. Saints have got the numbers. Aussie Jones. Lee Harding did well, applied enough pressure, but loose ball got to Kajitsky. It's a nice shepherd, the big ruckman, but picks out Corey Jones. What is it with these left footers in the Kangaroos? They seem to find the ball when their side most needs them. Heads out wide. Not the best kick. Jess Sinclair escorts the ball out of bounds. We'll have a throw in, just over 2 minutes remaining. 20 points the margin in favour of St Kilda.
It was a tight kick then, Wayne, wasn't it? Like Corey Jones wouldn't have played on ball for long periods.
A lot of players around this play. Kick smothered. Voss with Trotter. Del Santo. As if they're not already aware, Archer just got rid of a St Kilda player.
Yeah, it has to be a free
Good
kick.
umpiring. Hamill to take the free kick.
Shepherd off the ball.
May have just been a touch early. That was the biggest problem.
Rewalt. It's a terrific kick from Hamill. Open forward line for Garrick against Brown. The Saints skipper doesn't waste any time. It's a wrestling match. Fraser takes the mark, plays on. Does he goal? No. Late stages, third term. You would have thought Luke perhaps go back. Did he get caught up in the moment?
I think he might have got a bit excited there, Fraser, and we're getting a bit excited up here as well. He played on. He's got enough speed normally to kick those, but he'd like to have his time over again, I think.
Huge let-off for the Kangaroos. 21 points the margin. Just over a minute left, and how big would it be if they could pinch one against the roll here in the last 60 seconds? As I say, I think they'd be relatively content. They were 34 down at half-time. If they could go to the final change, 21 points down, I think Dean Lately'd accept it from here. They go to a 2-on-1. It's a free kick to the Kangas. It's going to Hale for holding. Still time for the Roos if they move it quickly. Kazitsky hangs onto the football, milks some time off the clock. Hale has it on centre wing. Squares it up. Baird's created an option inboard. To the run of Archer. Steps inside a man. He's now in striking distance of the 50. Tumbles it inside. Kazitsky will cut it off. 25 seconds remaining. And now Fisher at centre-half back. Saints just need to be tidy here. Montagnapil's off. Time for one last kick. He can go short to Thompson in the pocket.
Well, the runner's already been out. Jason Cripps is the runner for St Kilda. He's out in the ground telling him to go wide and give an option.
Three-quarter time at the Telstra Dome, and we are set for a grandstand finish on Saturday afternoon football. St Kilda 12-8-80. The Kangaroos 9-5-59. The margin 21 points. The Roos booting 3-3 in that term. St Kilda adding just 1 goal too. There's the G-Train. He's booted 3. The Kangaroos, the #1 final quarter team in the competition this season. Don't go away. Saturday afternoon on Fox. Three-quarter time at the Telstra Dome. This game is set for a cracking finish. St Kilda lead it by 21 points. They led by 34 at half-time. But in that third term, the Roos added 3 goals 3 to 1 goal 2 to pull within 21 points at the final change. Rocker with 4 goals, Gehrig with 3 at the other end. Sinclair with 18 touches for the Roos, Harvey 22 for St Kilda. As we take a look at the numbers, the Saints with the advantage in disposals, but go to the bottom line of that screen. Inside 50s. Kangaroos in that third term had 13 for the quarter compared to 12 for the entire first half.
And they took a risk, the Kangaroos. They switched the play at half-back and, you know, tried to hit the lead-up player through the centre of the ground. It got the ball inside 50 with a bit more efficiency. They looked dangerous in the second half, and I think they're a big chance, Shorey.
Well, they had to convert a little bit better in that quarter. When we have a look at, they kicked 3 goals 3 to 1 goal 2. So conversion was an issue with them early in that quarter.
There's Dean Lately addressing the troops as we head down to Glen Manton.
Thanks, Jason. Well, I get the feeling that Grant Thomas knows that the Kangas are coming. At three-quarter time, he was straight into his troops and he was asking them to go long and direct. And you'd think if the Saints have got any chance of hanging on, given the Shinboner spirit, long and direct is the way to go.
One other game of round 20 action on this afternoon. It is at Skilled Stadium in Geelong, a crucial game for these two sides, Geelong and Melbourne. Replay scheduled later tonight on Fox Footy, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. "21 points the margin at three-quarter time. The last 2 weeks, the Kangaroos have come from the dead against Port Adelaide and Collingwood. Tony Shaw, Luke Darcy, can they do it again?
Well, they can do it again if they started the game like that third quarter. They get in this last quarter like that. You know, they've still got to kick the first couple of goals. They're playing against a very classy unit here in St Kilda. St Kilda, they fell down in their forward line. They didn't have a lot of blokes who could mark above their head. Their key forwards went out of the game. And maybe because of the Kangaroos had more supply across the middle of the ground, they didn't get that supply themselves.
You think a lot of eyes are going to be on Shannon Grant in the last quarter. He's been the master this year, hasn't he, at being able to pull something out of the bag when they need it. Stephen Baker's gone to him again in the centre of the ground. He's done a good job all day. Shannon Grant, can he do it again?
Well, it won't be about stamina. It'll be about maybe taking Baker forward and beating him one-on-one in a marking contest. Lenny Hayes has gone to full forward for St Kilda, and Adam Simpson, who's had that job all day, has gone with him.
There is Shannon Grant addressing the troops in the middle. Shannon Grant booted 34 goals this season, remarkably 14 of those in the last quarter. He is a last quarter specialist, and he sunk the Saints when they met in round 3. Can he do it again this afternoon? They've got to come from 21 points down at the final change. But the Kangaroos are the #1 final term team in the competition in 2005. The double chance squarely on the line at the Telstra Dome. Can the Roos do it 3 weeks in a row, or will St Kilda march on towards the double chance? Petrie in the ruck. Up against Kazitsky. Harvey. Good quick hands from Ferrito, releases Wells. The superstar runs onto it for a dream start. You better believe it! How about that? A goal in the opening 15 seconds. And the Kangaroos are within 15 points.
Geez, they're fantastic, the Kangaroos, aren't they? And Daniel Wells has just got so much excitement about it. Paddled the ball out in front. Anyone else would have panicked. He just said, look, no problems at all. I'll pick that up and slot a goal. Couldn't ask for a better start to the last quarter.
See, I'm trying to find out who's manning him up at the moment, because no one was goal side of him, and he comes, that looks like Montagna. He comes to the wing now, and there's Montagna. If that was his man, he had to know to be goal side.
I don't think there's any doubt, sure, he has that being his man. Kangaroos with their forwards starting 30 metres out from goal. Plenty of space for the likes of Wells to run forward if they get it. Pack forms will have another bounce. 15 points the margin in favour of St Kilda. They look to be dominating and running away with this game at half-time, enjoying a 34-point lead. With this Kangaroo outfit, it is not done until they say so. Ball towards Rewalt. Got rid of Watt. Archer arrives late, takes the ball with him, leapfrog Lenny Hayes, and we'll have a boundary throw in.
Spoke about the 20-point barrier. They've got to 20, 21 points a few times, the Roos. They haven't been this close since the 1-minute mark of the second term.
Kazitsky and Petrie. They'll contest this. 46 metres from goal for the Saints. Sinclair stood in the Rewalt tackle, did well, got it to Simpson. Gets an extra 20 yards in front of the Kangaroos interchange bench, and will do it all over again.
Actually a pretty smart kick that from Adam Simpson. It didn't look like much, but under pressure to be able to roll the ball 20 metres along the boundary, it's a bit harder than it looks.
This might sound strange, but the Saints are in front by 15 points.
Free
but
kick.
it is fair and squarely at the feet of St Kilda at the moment.
Now, this should be nearly 50-metre penalty. Koziski's done that a few times, held the ball long enough to get his men, get the St Kilda players behind the line.
Petrie towards Hale on the stretch. Too much carry on it. Ball bounces fortuitously for Sinclair. Needs to be clean. And is Ferrito to Hale. To the man who loves the fourth term, Grant. Chips the kick, but Penny, strong grab. Read it well and takes a relieving mark at half-back for the Saints.
Rocker just lost his footing coming to that contest. An important mark for Penny. Sweeps the ball wide to the City side. Koziski takes the mark. He holds it up. Koziski goes long inside 50. Gehrig one-on-one. It's worked for the G-Train today. Milne at his feet. Can he run into an open goal? Milne snaps it across his body.
Gee, he's had opportunities.
I think I said before he's the best player ever at doing that. I've got to apologise to Phil Matera, I think, because I think Phil Matera might have kicked those last two.
Was he in space enough to steady up and...
Well, yeah, it was coming from the inside corridor. The man was coming onto the inside of him, so you've got to snap sometimes across your body, but I think he does lairize a little bit too much. But, gee, that was better positioning by Lee Brown on Gehrig then, I thought.
Pratt to Makepeace. The margin's 16 points. Here's Rawlings on centre wing in some space. Good transition from the Kangaroos inside 50. Jones just manoeuvred out of position. And the Saints can clear through Aussie Jones. Montagna has got a man over the top. Del Santo, he's a good user of the football. Rewalt leads short. Goes again now to 50. He's called to play on. Brings it inboard to Harvey. Ferrito won't quite get there. Harvey takes the mark. Here's Jones. Good overlap run from Aussie. Spears to Gehrig on the big chest of the G-Train. Beautiful kick from Aussie Jones. Gehrig didn't break stride, could take it out in front of his face or on his chest. And Gehrig to go back for goal number 4.
Well, Lee Brown, I just gave him a rap for his positioning because the other one, he played 2 metres in front and went back hard. You're not going to stop this. It was fantastic running by Aussie Jones. But you give a person a lead like that, 2 yards in front of him. Now, this will be a hard shot for Fraser Gehrig. Left foot across the goal. Has to start it, I would think, 2 metres inside or between the left point post and goal post.
For a steadier for the Saints. It's across the face and a minor score. So Gehrig has 3 goals, 4. And the thing about that Daniel Wells goal in the opening 15 seconds is it's bought the Kangaroos a buffer. They can afford to concede a goal now without being out of the contest.
Here's the kick-ins. Have had trouble all day here, the Kangaroos.
Just in the nick of time, Sinclair. Got it from Makepeace and gives it back. Loops a handball over the top to Archer. Makepeace getting a bit of the ball. Now clears the defensive 50. Petrie. Well, that was well done by Shannon Grant. Kept Stephen Baker out of the contest. Allowed Petrie to run back with the flight of the ball. Inside 50 now. Jones. Good spoil Voss. Ricochets off the boot of a player. Harding went to sink the slipper in. Maguire on his backside. Got it to Hayes, and he's got a loose teammate out of sight of the ground. Thompson doesn't have a lot on, so he has to come back inboard and short. Ball, look out. Ducked underneath the Ferrito tackle. Harvey heads back out wide, and Hayes told to go from Luke Ball. Straightens his vision, heads up the middle, and finds Rewalt. Got Gehrig inside forward, 50 on his own. He switches play. It's a good switch too. He's got Fisher. Can go. Del Santo's there if he wants him. Ignores that. Finds Koziski, who's floated forward. Got rid of his opponent. Looking to lay it off. Be well advised to go back. As Stephen Milne makes his way to the boundary line. Massive kick.
Great running by Koziski, because what happened, Drew Petrie had the man the mark up on the opposite wing, so he couldn't get back to his man, Luke, and that's what you want as a ruckman, to be a dangerous forward player when your man can't man you up.
Has played against the Kangaroos 3 times in his career, and at this point in time is yet to kick a score. No bigger kick in any of those matches previously or this afternoon's for Justin Koziski, and more importantly, St Kilda. Oh, it's a tumbling looking kick. Well, Koziski bows his head in disgust, but don't be too unhappy, because Lee Montagna's in the goal square and taking an easy mark. Should go back directly in front and slot the goal.
That's like one of my 9 irons. Take a big divot with your kick and you get it and it just skims it, but luck's a fortune.
Well, I've just seen Nick Riewoldt give Justin Koschitzki a high five. I don't know if it deserved that, but the goal does. Lee Montagna gets his second. And the margin, well, it's back out to 23 points.
Yeah, what do you say about that? I mean, he's kicked that one off the shin, and you look at Justin Koschitzki. I think he was genuinely that tired. I mean, if you have a look at him now, he's red in the face. He's run so hard. And, you know, as Tony said, luck's a fortune.
It is, but there's an important lesson there. You've always got to make sure you've got a defender at the full of the ball.
As many numbers you're right too, Swatter, as many numbers behind the ball as possible. And Lee Montagna, well, that was a gift, wasn't it?
Koschitzki has a spell now out of the ruck. Jason Blake goes into the ruck. Koschitzki goes down into defence as the loose man.
Gee, I don't know why. You don't want to shut up shop this early, I wouldn't think.
May just be fatigue setting in on Koschitzki.
Or rest him in the forline so you can kick a goal.
Petrie in the ruck against Blake. Del Santo tracks it. Rawlings goes to ground. Hayes crashed into by Archer. There's a history between those two. Remember many years at the SCG, Lenny Hayes fixed up by Glenn Archer on the boundary line with a big hit.
Oh, there's another 50-metre penalty. Well, two undisciplined acts by St Kilda. You have to get the ball back on the full. It doesn't matter if your man's run forward. Throw it up in the air a bit higher so it gives you some time to get back. I think it was Lee Montagna.
Might have been Brett Voss, I think.
Let's have a look. No, here, Lee
Montagna. It'd be interesting to see whether Montagna comes straight off the ground. I think Jason Blake was the last last one to give it off, and he came straight off the ground. So we'll watch the runner pretty closely here.
He'll be off Fossey's Christmas card list, Luke. Corey Jones has kicked 1 goal, 1 in the third term. Every kick from here for the Kangaroos so vital as Hamill comes off to be replaced by Milne. Taking plenty of time, Jones, as well he should. They need this kick. Doesn't look good off the boot, but who cares? Corey Jones gets his second. And the Kangaroos back within 17 points. He shakes his head. He realised he didn't hit it all that sweetly, but bottom line, the two fingers come up, and that's all they put in the paper tomorrow.
That was the old Stephen Kernahan special, that wasn't it? The helicopter that just spun sideways all the way. And they all count for 6 points at the end of the day. And crucial goal. Kangaroos right back in the game, and 17 points the margin. They'll be loving their chances at this stage in the game.
I don't know about Justin Koschitzki being a loose man in defence. What it means that the Kangaroos can set up from half-back. And, you know, you need to kick goals to win the game still. Shut it up a bit later.
Yeah, you've got Glenn Archer down the other end, Tony, as that loose man for the Kangaroos, and they go forward again. Wells. Oh, good vision. Has Makepeace inside the centre square. Lovely left foot kick, and he's got Baird. The Tars are up for the Kangaroos. The Saints have got their problems. That might sound strange with their side being up by 17 points, but the Roos are doing all the attacking.
Well, if you've got no pressure on midfield like that kick came from Makepeace, great play by Daniel Wells. Doesn't matter if you've got a loose man back in defence, you will find somebody in space if you move it that quick.
It'll take his best kick, I think, to kick this.
Playing his third game for the year, John Baird, from 52 metres off the inside of the boot. High ball, Voss got there. Good fist on the ball. Rawlings. He's got Grant in support. Goes towards Ferrito. Oh, did well, Micah Ferrito. Got it back to Rawlings. Brady will load up. It's a good kick. It's a good kick, but it's just across the face of goal. Opportunity gone begging there for the Kangaroos as Robert Harvey, head in his hands, went heavily in that clash with Ferrito.
16 points the margin. Remembering the Kangaroos were 17 points down at the 19-minute mark the last time these two sides played, and they still won. So plenty of time. We've only played 11.5 minutes.
Luke, take us through what happened with Robert Harvey.
He's going to have a decent headache. What's going to happen with Robert Harvey?
Nick Del Santo gave him a knee to hit his own teammate.
Yeah, he's feeling the effects at the moment, the champ, as Hamill comes back on, replacing Guerra. Long ball to the City side. The Roos with numbers, and Petrie takes the mark.
Oh, not 50 metre.
Yes, sir.
Again.
Against Penny. Dumped after the contest. Grant Thomas, I'm sure, will be furious. Every little incident like this is just giving a bit more ground to the Kangaroos. Luke Penny not happy. Grant Thomas less than not happy. There's Matt Rendell, assistant coach alongside.
He wasn't happy.
There's a lot of unhappiness at the moment, Shorey, I'm finding, around the Telstra Dome. Chance here for Drew Petrie. He's kicked 8 goals, 7 for the season, and this to bring it back to 10 points. And we have to go back to the middle stages of the opening term since the Kangaroos were this close. Petrie gets it done. 10 points the margin at the Telstra Dome on Saturday afternoon football. We've played 13 minutes, and this one's been shaping as a cracker all afternoon.
A lot of Kangaroo flags flying at the moment. They're used to this. This is the way they play, the Kangaroos. They let the opposition side get out in front. They storm back over top. They'll get a lot of confidence out of the last 2 weeks. Was it 50, Short?
Oh, no way, no. It was 50. He didn't, and the umpire said that he's thrown him to the ground. He slapped his hands at the contest. Come on. That cannot, he had to try and spoil, and when it's happened, the umpire said that he's thrown him to the ground. That's the 3rd goal they've scored from a 50-metre penalty, which could be crucial in a tight game like this.
The Roos haven't been this close, Wayne, since the 10-minute mark of the first term.
I reckon they would know that. It would have been spoken about at three-quarter time, and their earlier clash this year when they came from behind a
great smother.
stirring win. But Luke Ball says, no, I'm not done with yet. Follow me, boys. Heads towards Milne. Important contest. Makepeace wins himself a free kick as Archer comes in hard and late. He played that well, though, Stephen Milne. Protected the ball, had Makepeace on the wrong side of the football and made sure the umpire saw it. But you'd rather probably see him on the run here, Luke. Perhaps.
You just about would. It was a pretty soft free kick, I reckon, Wayne. I think Stephen Milne was smart enough to grab hold of the hand. Having said that, he's got the ball and he's going to have a shot at goal.
Will we see the ball try and get around the man on the mark, Shorey?
Well, you would think that Troy Makepeace will not jump off the ground. That's what you don't want to do when this man's got the ball in his hand.
Stephen Milne, no. He loads it up, pulls it left. 2 goals, 4 for the afternoon, Stephen Milne. Not too much damage done there for the Kangaroos on that occasion.
11 points the margin. We've played almost 15 minutes. Still plenty of time. Makepeace, he's got a couple of options broken towards the dockside. One of them's Baird. Can link up with Sinclair. Goes to ground. Goes back to Baird now. He kicks down the line. We'll have a throw in centre wing.
Well, the Kangaroos having an extra man behind the line, I think this suits the Kangaroos because they're trying to stop St Kilda from kicking a winning score, and they can just chip away, as you said before, Jason, chip away and just get a goal every couple of minutes, and that gets you back into the game. And it's played on the Kangaroos' terms, I think, at the moment.
They love to play their football that way, don't they? Loose numbers across half-back and just work it forward. Run it forward. Wells confronted, harassed and taken to the line, holding the ball.
The ball was displaced in the tackle and went out of bounds. The umpire was on the blind side, and I think he's guessed that.
Thompson has it. Towards half-forward, Revolt versus Watt. Revolt almost couldn't quite reel it in. Peckett confronted, taken by 2. Stands up in the tackle. Watt and Sinclair just pounced.
Now look at Daniel Wells. He's come up with the ball, tackled, the ball was displaced, and you can't play that hold the ball. A bit harsh on the kid. Just don't go in and get it anymore.
Kuzitsky towards the line, and Sinclair takes it out. It's been a titanic struggle all afternoon, irrespective of the scores.
It's been a great game.
St Kilda's biggest lead was 34 points, which they carried in at three-quarter time. But even then, you got at half-time, rather, even then you got the feeling that the game was far from over. Hamill, Harvey in space. Can go to Gehrig one-on-one with Brown.
Free kick.
We've seen it happen time and again when Fraser gets in front.
Yeah.
Brown feels like he's drowning down back.
Well, look, I've got to say about Lee Brown, I don't like the positioning. He's playing right on the back of Fraser Gehrig. He holds him up with body strength and then uses the space. And then Lee Brown, thinking he's going to mark the ball, he thinks he has to hold on, Luke.
Yeah, you're right. Fraser's body strength is probably just, he panics and he grabs hold of the jumper, and it's just, it could be costly in the end.
This for number 4. He's kicked 3-4 for the afternoon. Fraser Gehrig. Steers it through. Saints kick away again. Margin back out to 17 points at the 17.5-minute mark.
Look, there was a beautiful little handball there from Aaron Hamill in the air to Robert Harvey that set this goal up.
Oh. Smart play that, wasn't it? I mean, he's got Glenn Archer as an opponent. Archer right down his neck, breathing fire, and it just shows that Hamill, he's got a bit of power and a bit of grunt, but he's also a bit of deft touch there as well, Tony.
That's the skill of our game, isn't it? And to do it in the air. We saw Daniel Wells kick a goal last year when he did it in mid-air. Just shows we've got so many different skills involved in our game, and it's the greatest game on earth. But I'm biased.
No arguments up here, Tony. 17 points the margin, 18 minutes gone, last quarter. Wells, loopy handball to Simpson, can go to Sinclair, comes back inboard, got around Robert Harvey, now goes long. St Kilda with all the numbers. Fisher was one of them. Jones, was he held?
Yes, he was.
Corey Jones crumbed the loose ball, lost possession, might have accentuated the free kick, but nonetheless he'll go back and line up directly in front. 40 metres out. What do you think, Luke?
Great contest, first of all, from Nathan Thompson. He's just been fantastic at doing that all year. He's allowed the opportunity for Corey Jones. He's been a good player today, Corey Jones, coming up for his 18th possession and a crucial shot at goal.
I think he's lifted since half-time. Lee Hardy lifted in the third quarter.
Luke Ball in real trouble. We can see the damage there. He's headed for the bench. He's had 24 possessions, second only to Robert Harvey.
Corey Jones already has 2 goals, 2 for the afternoon. This for number 3. Gives it a ride. He heads back to the centre. He's got his third. And the Kangaroos get the margin back to 11 points.
Just refuse to give in, don't they, the Kangaroos? They have enormous faith in their ability. Fraser Garrett kicks a goal and you think, geez, that might be enough to just sway St Kilda's way, keep persisting, get the ball back in. Luke Ball's on the boundary line there. He's had more headbands wrapped around his head this year, I think, than any other player. So he's going for some sort of a record, but he's tough. He'll be back out there again.
Not sure a player's ever had a personal sponsorship with Elastoplast, but they'd have to be looking at Luke Ball, surely.
Trying to see what happened here now.
There it is.
Yeah, just a knee, accidental knee. But gee, Corey Jones has kicked 3 goals from free kicks, and 2 of them have had 50-metre penalties on top of them.
11 points the margin. 20 minutes gone as we hit time on in the final term. Hale in the ruck for the Roos. Ferrito and Harvey go at it. Sinclair coming hard the other way. Took Harvey high.
Be careful, St Kilda. You don't want to reverse the free kick.
Harvey's got a man broken
it's 50
wide.
metres. What's happened? Off the ball. I think it was the captain slung a St Kilda player to the ground, and now it has to be paid 50 metres because umpire Goldspink saw it behind play.
It's Dean Laidley's turn to be less than happy.
Oh, unhappy. They're right back in this game. No goal's going to be kicked where they had that first free kick.
With all due respect to Robert Harvey, his kicking isn't the strength in his game. This one far from through. He's 30 out directly in front. But it would be a telling blow if the champ can go back and slot this one. He's kicked 6-4 for the season. Long and deliberate run-up. He hits the post.
Great call, Jason. Well, you're right. Historically, it hasn't been his strong point goal kicking or set shot goal kicking. And you just think the way he used the ball around the ground, you think that you'd be able to slot those through, but it keeps this game alive now. I think that would have sunk the Kangaroos.
12 points the margin. 9 minutes remaining. Dangerous kick in. Archer stands tall and takes the mark.
It's had it all, hasn't it, the game? Undisciplined acts, some great marking, fantastic goals and courage shown by a lot of players.
Just a smidgen of violence. Not that we condone it, but it spices it up. Harris taken down by Revolt. When I say violence, I mean fierce physical contest. Not really anything untoward today, but it's just had both teams with an appetite to just get physical with their direct opponents.
And let's not take that out of the game ever.
Luke Ball getting assessed. Peckett got his hands on it. Harris hasn't spent a lot of time on the ground, only 51 minutes. Del Santo always seems to have that extra couple of seconds inside heavy traffic. Hamill, he's got a loose player, it's Powell. Milne decides to zone off. Makepeace had to go. Milne can't keep, that's terrific play. Outnumbered 2-1. Makepeace sees the ball out of bounds, will have a throw in. Inside forward 50 for St Kilda. 2 straight kicks in front, the Saints. Luke Ball on his feet again. It's a good sign for St Kilda. Rewalt over the top of Harris. Ball comes out. Watt sits on top of Stephen Milne. Pack forms.
Umpire.
And we'll go again.
They just wait so long for that holding the ball decision, don't they? That you just know it has to be balled up. There's Luke Ball.
Let's hope there's no damage to the eye socket there. We'll hear from Glenn Manton shortly.
He's absolutely fine, Jason. I can tell you he's about to make his way back out onto the ground.
Great news for the Saints.
Shepherding against St Kilda to David Hale. He takes the resulting free kick. Baird breaks. Takes the mark. Good kick from David Hale.
Plenty of time left in this game for the Kangaroos. They kicked 4 goals in 4 minutes last week, so they can do it.
Wobbly looking kick towards Brown. Got an unkind bounce. Aussie Jones. Oh,
Great
terrific tackle, Corey Jones. Oh, no. Goldspink. Oh. Darren Goldspink was going to pay holding the ball.
Oh.
The whistle went to the mouth.
The arms were up. It assumed a position, Wayne.
There was 8 arms in this box going up.
Assume the position. I love that.
So we'll have a bounce. Wing position. Broadcast side of the ground. The Kangaroos down by 12 points. Through the legs of Robert Harvey. Luke Ball's back on. And Daniel Harris makes sure that ball doesn't come out. We'll have a bounce with 6 minutes 40 remaining. Last quarter.
You think Luke Ball might think, I don't have to get under the packs anymore after copping one in the eye, but there he is.
He's feeling good. He's figuring he doesn't have a bandage on his head. He's had a good day.
He's tough.
Well slapped it out. Hamill does likewise. Thompson confronted by Rocker. Slick give to Harvey. And then beautiful to Peckett. Peckett can go inside 50. Heads to Gehrig versus Brown. Gehrig!
No, it was going to be a free kick anyway.
Wonderful passage of football from the Saints. Hamill slapped it out. Slick handball over the top to Peckett. And then the delivery to Fraser Gehrig. Wonderful piece of football.
Yeah, great play, Justin Peckett. He's done a tagging job on Brendan Harvey today, but with his experience and his ability to play the game, he just saw an opportunity to sneak forward on Harvey. Good enough kick to put it down the throat of Fraser Gehrig. And the G-Train, he's just been dominant down there all day today.
He's booted 4-4. This to make it 18 points with 6 minutes remaining. From point-blank range. Gehrig goes bang. Gehrig's got 5. The margin back out to 18 points. We've played 25.5 minutes, final term.
Well, just the class comes to the top, doesn't it? It started on the wing from this contest here, and it's Thompson to Harvey. How quick hands, and then comes in board. Peckett playing forward to Brent Harvey, and it would have been a free kick anyway for holding the arm, but he marked the ball instead. And look, Lee Colbert, the loss of Lee Colbert before this game has been so... Well, it's made it that they couldn't play someone off and play in front of Gehrig all day, and that's what Lee Colbert does well. It's been a big loss.
It's been structurally significant, hasn't it?
It has, yes. That's what I was looking for. Thanks, Jason.
Margin. Fraser Gehrig's 5th goal. Simpson hacks it out of the air. Jones tries to put it in the path of Jess Sinclair. On the first attempt, failed. Try again. Corey Jones gets it back. Can't get around the Voss tackle. He's got a loose player. Sinclair heads back in the square. Simpson got around his opposing number 7, Lenny Hayes. High ball inside forward 50, but running with the flight of the ball. And a well-timed mark is Brett Voss.
Kazitsky's on.
Yes, well spotted, Tony. Will it get there? Well, he made sure of it, the big St Kilda man. That's an important mark. As Adam Simpson was closing. 5 minutes remaining. Fantastic game of football. Watt with a good spoil on Rewalt. We'll have a throw in outer side of the ground. You'd think with 5 minutes left, 22 points down, Luke, the Kangaroos will be out of it. But as you said, Tony, earlier on, 4 goals in 4 minutes last week.
18 points the margin.
18 points the margin. I'm getting excited. Luke Ball telling possession. Neil, will he get there? He certainly did, but Makepeace, good spoil. Brent Harvey wins himself a free kick. He was taken too high.
Oh, and Brett's having a go at the umpire saying, I haven't been protected all day here, Rump. It's been a bit late coming.
And there it is there.
Oh,
just a gentle nudge from Peckett.
Yeah, nothing. That's a free kick, but nothing else.
Well, the kick let him down. Tried to find Simpson. The Saints rebound. Hamill, we did that earlier on, that set up the Garrick goal. Gets it back, Aaron Hamill. Around the corner. Milne, will he get there? No. Too much on the ball. Standing in the tackle, Peckett. Got rid of Makepeace, but had too much on the handball.
Another free kick.
It's against Brent Harvey, and he's been reported.
Oh, now. There's no doubt that Brent Harvey has been unhappy with the treatment he's had all day. And we'll just have a look at the replay, but the umpires picked something out of this, whether it was a free kick. It was a free kick, but he's also been reported in that stands replay.
Umpire Simon Meredith on the spot there. And it was Peckett that gave away that previous free kick to Brent Harvey, so it might have been some sort of square-up, Tony.
I didn't think there was much in the Peckett thing. It wasn't a pure elbow. It was on the upper part of his arm. And as Luke, you cannot comment because being a player.
Justin Peckett has worked Brent Harvey over along with Andrew Thompson this afternoon for his first goal. And importantly, to extend the margin out, Justin Peckett. Goal umpire watches it sail through the middle of the big sticks. And a wry smile comes to the veteran. The Saints, they now push it out to 24 points. But are they done with yet, Luke?
It's a good role for Justin Peckett this at the later stage of his career. As we have a look at this incident where Brent Harvey, this is the first free kick, I think, where Harvey received one. And
no, this is a report.
It's a trip with the legs. Gee.
Can't say too much, Tony, but he's got...
No, you can't. Yeah, I know. He put the leg out, but I think that might be just a fine, you would think. You wouldn't hope that Brent Harvey, great player as he is, misses a game of football for that.
So Brent Harvey in the book for a step over toe hold in WWE terms. The margin out to 24 points. It's do or die for the Roos now. Harris slaps it out. They'll go forward through Ferrito. Must be direct and attack from here. Grant's been isolated in the goal square. Free kick. It's going to Shannon Grant. Well, he's the man they look to. He is the go-to man in this situation every time. And this, for a quick response, with still 3.5 on the clock to reduce the margin of 3 straight goals.
It can't happen, can it?
Never say
weeks
that.
in a row.
Never say that when the game be 3 weeks in a row.
I think Shannon Grant would have liked to have had this opportunity on Stephen Baker, one out more often in the goal square. It just hasn't happened. Stephen Baker's done a good job, although Shannon Grant now has a shot at goal.
Grant, a must-kick situation for the Kangaroos to bring it back to 3 goals, and he shanked it.
Kicked it out in the full.
Is that the double chance right there? They need everything to go right. And that's a remarkable miss. The Iceman melts. As Del Santo goes long outside defensive 50 and Voss stands tall for the Saints.
Well done, Brett Voss. Courageous but calming mark for the side. And I just wonder whether that's the impact of Stephen Baker. He's one of the best run-with players in the competition. He's got scalps every week, Stephen Baker.
Voss to the wing, Hamill the target, Archer. Strong over the top. Have to move it on at every opportunity. He's got Sinclair on centre wing. He's held up by Kajitsky. Switches to Petrie. 2.5 remaining. Thompson, one out with Maguire, who did well. Important hand, important win. Peckett can go to Rewalt. He's off his man, Petrie. Rewalt from 65. Fraser Gehrig loses his footing. Back in the contest. Over the back, Makepeace reads it. Can go up the middle to Sinclair. They've got to go straight up the corridor now. The Kangaroos, they have no option.
He's got 2 players out wide. Jess Sinclair ignores that. Heard the call from the box. Goes straight up the middle. Brown. Fraser's in pursuit. To Harvey. Lunging Luke Ball. Couldn't take the tackle. Brent Harvey. Last roll of the dice for the Kangaroos. Got Harding on the lead. Grant inside forward 50. He's got Savrock long.
Kick it long.
That's where he heads. It's a wobbly-looking kick to the top of the square. Two Saints players spoil each other, but Brett Voss, cool in a crisis, wears one for his trouble.
Oh, he's hurt his shoulder.
Right shoulder. Rush behind. But they'll concede that. And it has been a tough day at the office for that man there and the rest of his teammates.
So that's a bad combination. You cramp up and you hurt your shoulder on the same side, so he can't even reach out to stretch his leg.
I'd be more worried about the shoulder, though, the way that he fell. Finals coming up.
It's heart-in-mouth stuff at this stage of the year for players. Every little twinge. I'm sure you must have that horrible thought through the back of your mind as we near September.
You've got to be smart in the coach's box here. I'd just take him straight over the white line and get someone else on the ground. You look like you've got the game sewn up.
He's decided to re-enter the fray, Brett Voss. He's up and running. Blake has it. Goes to revolt at centre wing. Stands tall, receives some treatment over the shoulder and receive a free kick.
Hasn't done a bad job today, Shannon White, although Rewald, as always, gets plenty of the ball. Interestingly, so Robert Harvey's had 28 touches. How important is he going to be leading into the finals for St Kilda?
14th touch for Rewalt to go with his 9 marks. 2-on-1 at ground level ball to Hamill. Confronted and just shrugged off Harris. Snaps it inside 50. Milne, Makepeace, Gehrig and Brown will see it to the line.
The other thing about Harvey and Peckett, they've played in a grand final. And the experience, you just can tell the young kids and spread the word about how to relate to a grand final or a final series, and it does help them.
Petrie out of the ruck, off his knee, couldn't clear the zone. Players fall on top of it. Two pretty tired teams. It's been played at a frenetic pace from the opening bounce this afternoon.
Good decision by the umpire there. I think maybe start of the year that would have been holding the ball for grabbing out of the ruck, but you know, he got half a knee to it. Play on.
Final stages of what's been a fantastic contest. Simpson towards the line. Ferrito keeps it alive for one last kick. Harding shunted out of the contest. He'll receive a free. But it matters not as he goes over the top to Pratt. And St Kilda take a firm hold on the double chance in season 2005. They weathered the inevitable storm. We knew it was going to come. They knew it was going to come. But in the end, you just can't give up big head starts to good sides. St Kilda, 16-12, 108. Defeat the Kangaroos, 13-7, 85. The final margin, 23 points. The Saints led it all afternoon. And try as they might, the gutsy Kangaroos just couldn't overhaul the deficit. They trailed by 21 points at the final change. They stormed back to get within 10 points at the 13-minute mark. But the Saints showed their class. They steadied when it mattered. And they ran out 23-point winners. Gehrig finishing with 5, Montagna 4, Milne 4. Savroka booted 4 for the Kangaroos, 3 to Corey Jones. A game high 28 possessions to the champ, Robert Harvey.